Appa? Appa? I mean, why not? Welcome back to Miles Edgeworth Ace Attorney Investigations. I'm sorry that last week's streams of this game were only like 1 hour to 1.5 hours at the beginning of Super Mario Sunshine, but I'm a big Nintendo geek, and Nintendo released that 3D collection on those days. Today's gonna be a full stream, so buckle up. We're gonna get to the end of this chapter episode. I promise I will try. I promise I will try. We're still back in the past. Edgeworth is still trying to figure out what happened to the previous prosecutor that was heading this case. Supposed double murder. We're finding out a little bit more about what Gumshoe was doing during all that. He was in charge of watching them, allowed them to both die. So what's up with that? Somebody around here is silent, but deadly. Let's go. Hopefully the save is right where it needs to be. What's up? Hope everybody's doing good. Edgeworth is reviving, and we're restoring. Turnabout reminiscence. How do I talk? I specifically saved today's stream for interrogating this fine fellow, this clever young man. Look at him. He's so spry. This is back in the past. Look, he hasn't aged a day. He hasn't aged a day since today, at least. It's the judge, the same judge in every Ace Attorney game. This guy's just immortal. Whether it's like now in the past or all the way to like what, Spirit of Justice? Same dude. Your Honor, I'd like to ask you a few questions if you don't mind. Where were you at the time of the murder?
Do you suspect me or something?
No, nothing of the sort, Your Honor.
Very well. You may continue your testimony.
Testimony? I'm asking you. Your Honor, it's your testimony I'm after.
Oh, I had no idea you are chasing after me or my testimony.
I'm beginning to sense that I might want to avoid being in a trial run by this judge. Too late, Edgeworth. Every one of your trials is going to be run by this judge. At least every one of your trials as a prosecutor. Where were you at the time of the murder, sir?
Let's see here. Now then, how should I put this? When you get to be my age, you need to pay more frequent visits to the restroom.
Alright, you don't have to go into that much detail, sir. Your Honor.
If you go take a look through the window at the end of the hall, you'll see a small window. That is the window to the men's restroom. In other words, you can see clearly into this hallway from the men's restroom.
Is that the restroom? Oh, that's a bit awkward.
When I was going into the restroom, that detective, Gumshoe, well, he was standing in front of the vending machines buying something from it.
Uh-huh. It's all coming together in my head. Last time we got evidence that Gumshoe got paid that day, his very first bonus of a whopping $5. He said it's the only money he had on him. He had to go cash it.
However, and this I couldn't believe, when I was about to exit the restroom, there was not a soul in the hallway anymore.
What, did he disappear? Maybe he got inside a cardboard box. Judge just thought he straight up vanished. Your Honor, if you could please calm down and explain it to me rationally.
Oh, I'm really sorry. Please let me regain my composure. It was really suspicious. That's what my finally honed judge's intuition said.
You know, we're lucky that he's only in charge of handing down the verdict. I've been part of a jury in real life. The judge actually, does more than listen to the defense and the prosecutor babble on. They actually, lead the trial. They actually do things. If your only experience with how a court system works is Ace Attorney, then I suggest looking up real trials before you go into law school. I'll say that. Sleepy Memories, what's up? Yeah, what's up? How's everybody doing, by the way? Edgeworth convicted Mario to stop me from delaying Ace Attorney streams. It was all Mario's fault.
Well, until the murders occurred, I just sort of brushed it off.
Are you Santa Claus? course, just put a hat on him. Apparently, this judge doesn't understand the concept of staying calm. You get what you don't want, Edgeworth. That's like a sticking point throughout the whole series, isn't it? Edgeworth, stop tempting fate. Stop, like, wishing on the monkey's paw, because it grants everything you don't wish for. The restroom window, huh? I wonder if you can really see the men's bathroom windows from that one over there. You can. I'm looking at it right now. I demand that you show me this view at once. I suspect that her height is what's limiting her ability to see. Francisca, you could just step on the bench over there. Oh. How am I? I'm doing pretty good. Been getting a decent amount of sleep. Ate some pizza for dinner from the freezer. Delicious. Not delivery, but DiGiorno. You know. You know. Except it was delivered by, like, online groceries, so it kind of was delivery. Everything is changed on its head. Hope you're doing well. And thanks for the hydrate. My water's closed. Delicious. I will need it. That's probably all I'm going to find out from his owner.
Mr. Edgeworth, may I return to my other duties now?
Yes, I'm sorry to have held you up. Thank you for your cooperation, Your Honor.
Ho, 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 ho. Anytime, Mr. Edgeworth. Anytime.
How's my voice for the judge, by the way? It's ironic. I've been saving this judge's voice for when I finally played an Ace Attorney game rather than, say, the Great Ace Attorney, where the judges are different. Now that I'm actually hearing it coming out of my mouth, I'm not sure if it's 100% correct. See, judges in this country seem rather friendly. A bit too friendly. Yes, if not a little wishy-washy. However, I hear that they are known to hand down very fair verdicts. That's 100% the truth. As much as the judge, you know, seems like a little bit of an airhead. He's just, you know, considering all the possibilities. Even the ones that don't make any sense. Because this world is just like that, though. Ace Attorney, Miles Edgeworth's struggle. Desperate struggle. Pizza, hope it had a good meal. Yeah, it was pretty good. A little old, though. Definitely better than what Gumshoe's eating. If his only lunch, if his only money was whatever he could afford to buy a, Swiss roll with? Did you find something, officer? I think there's a $5 bill back here. Come on, just a little more. Is there no one working this crime scene who isn't a total waste of living tissue? Whoa, wait, hold on. Cold. For all we know, that was the $5 bill that Gumshoe withdrew from the ATM. It could be important. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be a single person we can deem useful here. Whoa. Edgeworth. Man, he was mean as a kid. I say, as he's what? How old is he in this one? I'm gonna base his age off, in comparison to Francisca's. What, like 7 years older than her? He's like 20, 19. I'm guessing. I'm sure someone in the comments will let me know in the YouTube video. Sleepy's, well, you bought the Ace Attorney trilogy. Yeah, you were talking about that. Or somebody was talking about that. Oh, I recommend it. It's fantastic. The first 3 games overall are still my favorite, like, overarching story in the series. But heck, this game is just like a culmination of all the fan service, just compacted into one game. And this game has a sequel. If Capcom knows how to do anything, it's how to please their fan base. At least the developers know how. The business people are, you know, out the window. At least a lot of people want to throw them out the window. Yeah. Speaking of Capcom, Harris has been playing Monster Hunter. It's fun, there's no hand-holding, it's super confusing. The classic Monster Hunters, absolutely, generations, right? They assume that you've played the other Monster Hunters. So, it's a little bit of like, if you play World only, then you'll have to get used to a lot of the lack of quality of life. But for me, as someone who's been playing Monster Hunter since the PSP, it actually is like exactly at the level I want it to be. Like, I'm able to just go straight in and just play. If you need tips, there's always the community. You can always ask me too. I have it on Switch, so I could play. It's also waiting for Monster Hunter Rise. Rise Kujikawa. You know, Monster Hunter Rise? Have you found any suspicious fingerprints, officer?
No, just the fingerprints of those involved in the case, sir.
That's the point, though. I guess we know all the players in this case then, huh? It would appear that way, but I have the nagging feeling that we're missing something. In case somebody was wearing gloves, maybe? And I suspect that what we're missing is hiding right here in this crime scene somewhere. Oh, can I go inside? Let's check. What is this poster? I'll tell you, every courthouse I've been in doesn't have, like, posters advertising justice as if it was a rock band. Maybe a rock band with a German guitarist and then a bassist whose hair is, like, 5 feet long. He's making a most ridiculous-looking face. That might be, but at least he doesn't look like someone who would tell a lie on purpose. Is that a judge poster? It is. I suppose, but to avoid karma, evidence is the only thing that carries any weight. Of course, at any rate, this poster seems to be of no use to us right now. Maybe peel it back. Maybe there's a secret switch behind it that opens the Team Rocket hideout. I guess talk to Detective Bat again? It's a bit unfortunate that I'm, like, knee-deep into a case, but it's, in my mind, it's spanning over 3 different weeks. So, I'm slightly raising the blue flag. I might have to ask you guys for help if I need to know where to go next. If maybe they told me, but I forgot. For now, I'm gonna walk around and see where I can go. There's not a move button like there is in the regular Phoenix Wright games. Yeah, speaking of, Sleepy Memories, enjoy the original trilogy. It's more of a first-person point-and-click adventure, so there's a lot less running around and more like, just make sure you have everything picked up. It's been so long, you're keeping your expectations low. You heard about Capcom at Tokyo Game Show. Oh, yeah, I'm not getting my hopes up. This year's just been really weird with regards to announcing new games from companies all over the world. Like, I know that when Capcom does something, they try to do it well. And they're one of the companies that I still have the most faith in general. It's just a matter of, will the higher-ups deem an Ace Attorney game worth the money? And if they did, it would have to be, like, on the Switch. It'd probably be multi-platform. So either they'd have to make an engine from scratch, port the 3DS engine, or take the engine from the HD trilogy and start using that, even though it's 2D and not 3D? Speaking as a programmer, I don't know what route I'd go. Ideally, it would be just make a new engine from scratch, or like use the RE engine and turn it into a visual novel engine, but I doubt they'd go through the effort of doing that. Yes, what is it? Can I have a hint, Francisca? Notice anything? Be disappointing if they didn't show anything. Absolutely, no matter what franchise you're a fan of. Valstrax, best monster. That's a weird way to spell the Zinogre, Dusty Kuga. I'm sorry, but I actually have a Zinogre figurine. I have a really old picture of it somewhere. I could take another one, but not right now. I'll show you guys next time. Play some Monster Hunter? I don't have the time. I never have time. I don't even have time to play Among Us. I'd love to, though. This is a pretty spacious hallway, but it's nothing compared to the ones at home. Because Manfred is just so gosh dang rich from getting innocent people convicted? Yes. Indeed. Because Mr. Von Karma's house is a bit too spacious. However, even with this much space, there's nowhere for that scruff face to hide. Well, other than the crime scene just beyond those doors. Francisca, I believe it's much too early to draw any conclusions. Just had an idea. The judge couldn't see Gumshoe in the hallway from the bathroom. Francisca can't see the bathroom because she's too short. Put those together. There'll probably be a logic thing, but I have an idea where Gumshoe was. It was already proven that the Detective Gumshoe was in this hallway the entire time. Now all we need to do is gather more information. And to do that, I'll just have to examine everything I see here by myself. The director of the mainline Ace Attorney games walked out. Ooh, oh, that's not great. Are the writers still at Capcom? I'd still be okay if most of the writers of Ace Attorney were still around, but that's definitely a big factor of those games. The director, especially since wasn't it the case that he was responsible for most of the plot of the Great Ace Attorney? At the very least, I have that game to look forward to whenever it gets translated. So, according to the judge, someone looking through the restroom window that you can see from the window at the end of this hall can see into this hall. I wonder how exactly true that statement is, don't you? Well, it is possible to get a pretty clear view of this hallway from that restroom. Is there really a men's bathroom window through the window at the end of this hall? Of course. Can you not see it? Oh! I'm gonna do it. I feel bad. I haven't been doing a good job at reading all the and no dialogue in the exact way it's written out. That's one of the silliest parts of Ace Attorney. Especially Edgeworth stuff. I gotta nail it. I demand that you show me this view at once. I suppose I should go examine that window once again anyway. Is that supposed to be a hint? No, because Edgeworth says, I've already seen this area. That usually means it's done. Unless I check down here. Nah, I've already seen everything here too. Got the Swiss roll, got the ants, got the handprint. Maybe the logic? Let's see. Pink piece of trash, windowsill cactus. Maybe the cactus ripped whatever the pink thing was part of? Yeah, baby! This pink rubbery substance, I saw it in a different form earlier today. Did I? I believe this is a piece of a pout balloon. I know who had a balloon. I suppose that's possible. The balloon probably got a little too close to our friend, the windowsill cactus. Of course, Edward's only friend is a cactus. He's such a prickly character. That would be the logical conclusion, yes. Fiddle-a-doo. Francisca has a big brother complex of jealousy. Oh, you know, every single interaction between Edgeworth and Francisca, at least in the past, seems to be like one of jealousy and competition, because they grew up together, spending their whole lives, or at least most of Edgeworth's life, just under the supervision of Von Karma, always thinking like, you have to be number one, Edgeworth. You have to be the winner. You cannot lose. I need to stop making him sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but that's basically how... This is... Through their interactions now, it shows us a little bit of Edgeworth's life up until the point where he meets Phoenix again. And that's really cool to me. It's really cool to me that this not only refers to the original trilogy, it gives us insight into it without directly referring to it. That's good writing. That's good writing. Why can't they get together? Well, they're basically siblings? I'm sure people ship it, though. They're not related, but still, though, that's... No, thank you. Lobby number 2 window, Swiss roll crumbs, not important right now. But now I have that piece of evidence that says balloon is popped. I know I've seen a pink balloon around. Alright, that's important. Lions and tigers and chickens, oh my. I don't see any of those here. It would appear that this vending machine sells snacks and various other foods. Did I really have to put that into my logic? Did I really not already know that? Just lovely. What will they think of next? What a revolutionary thing. Although in Japan they have vending machines that sell you like entire bowls of ramen with the soup and the meat and everything. Because they're stocked by a restaurant every day. Don't be a jerk in court like these beef jerks. 1 packet for $9. Defendant's fresh milk. What defendant got milk? You know what? Never mind. 1 half pint for $7. Stay neutral as the Swiss do until the end with these for $6. These are outrageous prices. They're awfully overpriced. This lineup is simply awful. Period. Even I wouldn't pay extra money for those puns. Speaking of snacks, I wonder if that Swiss roll the little girl dropped is from this machine. I was wondering about that myself. Yeah. Edgeworth only has eyes for justice. This is a constant, no matter what age he is. This is true. I like how we can individually see every single one. I wanna see the Japanese version of this exact screen. Because hot dog? No. I know for a fact that at least in the first game, hot dogs were a big plot point in one of the cases, and they used to be something else. There's just like, I think they were like croquette sandwiches. Something usually very popular in Japan, just isn't as common here. When you're in hot water, you might eat a hot dog. Oh, these hurt. These jokes hurt. Is this what it means? Is this what it feels like to watch my stream? It looks like this slogan was decided through a public contest. And the winner was... Prosecutor Winston Payne? What a pathetic slogan. No presents at all. Now, if it was up to me, it would read, if you leave matters in a Von Karma's hands, everyone in court will be found guilty, dogs. It's not even a joke, but you know what? It's more intimidating. I object. Overruled. You know what? I like that. Winston Payne. How did he win? How does he win anything? I guess the only thing he can win is a slogan competition. The joke definitely made me wince in pain. Still can't get over the defendant's fresh milk. That has implications. I don't like that. Disneyland prices. Not even Disneyland's this ridiculous. Like, last time I went, I know for a fact a churro was like $3 and something, which is horrifying. You can get a churro for like $1 something at Costco. You can get... I had authentic churros when I visited Mexico like 3 years ago, and they only cost 50 cents for 5. But then again, that's in Mexico. Yeah, tourist locations. Don't be a jerk in court like these beef jerks, I see. Miles Edgeworth, shouldn't you agree that it's a very clever pun? Do you really think they put that much effort into the product's name? Even a foolish fool could understand the foolish thinking of the fool who made it up. You're acting so foolishly that I got so thoroughly mad, and I'm now utterly famished. Are you saying you want me to buy them? Not for you, little missy. Use your allowance. I'm sure Von Karma pays handsomely. If you wanted a pack of these, all you had to do was ask like a normal person. She's a Von Karma, though. Far from normal. This is what it was like yesterday, eh? Disney World more likely. Yeah, that probably has way higher prices than Disneyland itself. The siblings act like siblings. This is my favorite part of this entire chapter. Low key, high key, whatever key I'm in, low or high. Just the way these characters act in a way that's consistent with how we imagine them to be in the past. It's perfect. Don't let the prosecution and the defense make a ham sandwich out of you. It sounds like it's directed at that ham of a judge. Well, it certainly isn't directed at me. I can outmaneuver him any day. Oh, no. We know what kind of sandwiches the judge likes. You like the turkey sandwich? I'm sorry, I can't do Nico B references. I know for a fact that a lot of people who watch my VODs, there's a bit of a crossover between the likes of fans of Nico B, Lucajin, and I watch them too. They're also big inspirations for me from the non-streaming world, just from the YouTube world. And you know what? I like them. I love them. They're pretty good. When it's looking bad, blind your opposition with some OJ. Hey, are they promoting violence? OJ, they could have gone. They could have gone in another direction, honestly, with that. Like, Like OJ, Cart. Does any of does nobody else see like where if the OJ doesn't fit, you must acquit. Don't worry, my whip will make sure that anybody following the advice won't be for long. Compared to the sting of a whip, the sting of orange juice may not be so bad. If this carton doesn't fit in the vending machine, you must acquit. Isn't Winston Payne called a rookie killer? Yeah, in universe, in universe he's supposed to be like this tough prosecutor that always beats like newbies. You gotta wonder how dumb some of the defense attorneys are in the Ace Attorney world if they can't win a case over Winston Payne. Or maybe Phoenix Wright and Mia Fey and all those prosecutors just get lucky. He won a decent number of cases until he met Phoenix. All in all, it's like we're applying the anime logic is like, oh, the good guys always win, and the bad guys always are said to always win until they meet the heroes. But that doesn't apply to court. If the person's actually guilty or actually innocent, then usually, if things go well, they'll be found out. The truth will be found out. I think Winston Payne is just unlucky to get the wrong cases. Defendant's fresh milk. What exactly is that supposed to mean? I bet it means that the milk is freshly milked by various defendants on trial right now. What, they're sentenced to menial labor on a farm? No, I think it might mean that this was milked right here from the various defendants. I do not want to continue with this. So, Sapphire, thanks for the raid. Did anybody see a raid alert? I did not notice one. Okay. So, I'll let you guys know something. I have both Streamlabs and Stream Elements alerts on right now, in the hopes that if one fails, then the other will catch it. But I guess both are having problems. If you saw a Stream Elements alert, it should have been in the top right. And yes, I did see the sub alert. Holy Hadouken, what's up, Peter? Thank you for the resub. Welcome back to the chicken coop. Grab a nest and get comfy. I saw that raid alert. Okay. There, I saw the Narukami specialist. So weird. Okay, I'm gonna give a shout out for both Soul Sapphire and Cosmit. How y'all doing tonight? Welcome on in to the Ace Attorney. How are your streams, fellas? I know Soul Sapphire was doing some art. I apologize. I don't actually know what game you're making art of, but there was a castle and there was a dragon. It was probably Dark Souls. I don't know Dark Souls, but it looked great. And also, Cosmit, welcome on in everybody from the raids. You saw a sub alert.
Can't get rid of me that easily.
Oh, I guess I gotta try harder. Thank you for the sub, Peter. Enjoy the emotes. Davisa Arts, what's up? Soul Sapphire, thanks for the raid. Tech Cupcakes, what's up? Welcome on in. Radio Redhead, hello, welcome. Cosmit, Landed Seeking Sanctuary, and good content. Well, I'll try to oblige. Basin Gmate, what's up? Welcome on in, everybody. Welcome to Ace Attorney, one of my favorite series in existence. I've played most of the games out there, just missing some of the key ones. Ace Attorney Investigations 2, and also Great Ace Attorney 2. I have played this game, Investigations. I have played Great Ace Attorney. They're near and dear to my heart. I played them all through, like, high school. Like, I had a real almost possibility that I might have gone to law school because of these games, but then I realized, real law probably isn't as interesting as these games. Well, come on in. If you don't know Soul Sapphire or Cosmic, give them follows. Wonderful people. Love being in their streams. I just don't have time these days because work is just so worky. And also, if you don't know me, I play a lot of RPGs, visual novels like this, and Nintendo games. We've been playing a lot of Mario Sunshine, too. Windy's gotta go. Be back in an hour. All right, Windy. Have a good day at work. I'll see ya. And there's always the VOD. I'll catch you later. And this message is for future Windy. Welcome back. Gotta play it. Never played them. They're fantastic. If you like murder mysteries that aren't too off the wall, like say if Danganronpa is too much for you, try Ace Attorney. The trilogy just came out. It's a good deal. Go buy it. Yeah. Going to actual law school. Yeah, no. I realized going out of high school what that implied, so no thank you. Yeah, so welcome on in, everybody. If you need a sample of the fine foods up for sale right here, just let me know. But we're going through all of the descriptions. They're a little expensive. We got some Disneyland prices going on. Miles Edgeworth, you can't possibly be serious. Of course not. Milking the defendants. They're all very painful puns. Painful. Stay neutral as the Swiss do until the end with these. The end of what? The end of the trial, I suppose, but are Swiss known to be neutral? Well, I assume it means the end of the trial. I suppose this means that one should eat these during a recess. You can't eat during a trial, so I suppose the only time you can eat them is now, huh? I wouldn't mind if you wanted to eat one now. They come in packs of 2, after all. We're in the middle of an investigation. Plus, besides, I don't have $6 on me. If you want, we can pool our money and buy a pack together. If I have to split it with you, then I don't want it. Sibling rivalry. Look, they accept credit card. I'm sure Manfred von Karma gave both me and Francisca at least, like, a debit card or something. Just pulls from his infinite money account. You know what? We don't even need our own debit cards. We can just take Manfred's debit card and we know his PIN number. It's 1111 because he's number 1. That's a real thing, by the way. Yeah. I hope you guys are doing good. How are your streams? Oh, fire extinguisher. I bet there's gonna be something about hitting somebody in the head with it. There are no signs that this fire extinguisher was used in the crime. If you could already tell from a distance, then why are you wasting your time examining it? Francisca, let's not try to rush absolute genius. Paying this much for stacks makes you a foolish fool. Wow, I feel like you very much agree with a certain young prosecutor. Yeah, when's the last time Switzerland went to war? I guess that's the idea? They're neutral in all conflicts? So the thing about this game compared to the other Ace Attorney games is you have this little logic menu. Edgeworth does the super unprecedented thing of taking points of information and deducing the situation based on them. Whereas other protagonists of the Phoenix Wright games just let things happen. No. Edgeworth is active. Wow! Logic! These bits of chocolate and cake, could they not have come from a Swiss roll? Very obvious. A Swiss roll? Why would a courthouse sell a thing like that? We literally saw the vending. It may not seem like the right venue. However, it is being sold right over there. This implies that Phoenix has no logic. I don't see a contradiction there. Yellow Pikachu, I see you peeking on in. How you doing? The vending machine? Ah, I see. Stay neutral as the Swiss do until the end with these. 2 for $6? Talk about expensive. Leaving the fact that it's on the expensive side aside, the fact that the cake crumbs and chocolate bits were found in this hallway suggests that they came from a Swiss roll that was purchased from this machine. Hey, and the Swiss roll is $6. Oh, not even Gumshoe's bonus can pay for that. I think I have a pretty clear picture of what happened here now. Humph, not really. After all, I'm here, aren't I? Detective Gumshoe must have sat on this bench as he ate a Swiss roll. Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet, eating his neutral Swiss roll. Along came some ants who slipped down his pants, and then he did the hokey pokey. And as he ate, he dropped it on the floor and sullied the bench. That Gumshoe's fingerprints. Vending machine hot dogs. Gina, what's up? I'd maybe eat it. I would not pay $9. Like, I literally bought some hot dogs from my last online grocery order. I could get, like, what, 12 for $5? Not worth it. Oh, how could he have not cleaned up after himself? How utterly despicable. Also, how you doing, Gina? Don't you dare whip me again. It wasn't I who made the mess in the first place. Then somebody has to suffer. Anyway, if it was indeed Detective Gumshoe who bought the Swiss roll, that creates a rather interesting contradiction of facts. A contradiction? There. It's the milk. Contradict this. I think another look at the special courthouse vending machine is in order. Miles Edgeworth, are you making fun at me? No? I heard you. You're trying to imitate my voice. I swear, it was an honest mistake. Imagine if you forgot your own voice. Just one day you wake up and like,
I'm pretty sure I didn't sound like this before. Oh well, it's a bit more epic, so let's keep it. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny.
oh yeah, it's all coming together. You're watching me play after all. How far in am I? I'm pretty close to the end. I'm not on the last episode, but I'm pretty far in. Again, the good thing about watching a Ace Attorney game out of context is you still yourself have to figure out how it all fits together, so it's not too much of a spoiler, except once we get to like interrogating people and then we like actually point the finger at whoever the real culprit is. That's the big spoiler. Those are the big spoilers. I'm glad you're enjoying, Gina. I'm glad that if you do end up buying the game, it's gonna be well worth it. But I love my voice already. Oh, consider yourself lucky. Not everybody does. Defendant's fresh milk. What exactly is that supposed to mean? I already read this, but I just wanted to check the milk again. $7, dude. All right, we're gonna have to deduce. I'm guessing I'm going to deduce that the Swiss roll came from the vending machine. As unnecessary as that is. Oh, wait. There's clearly a contradiction here. No? Yes? No. There's that Danganronpa problem. Sometimes I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be contradicting something or just connecting the dots. It's Ace Attorney. It's always going to be a contradiction. Oops. Now, let's see. What do I know that's a contradiction? Maybe the fact that we know Gumshoe only had $5, so how did he afford the Swiss rolls? He had to go borrow money. That's it. That's absolutely it. Deduce. Now. Think. Brain blast! About Detective Gumshoe's finances, he said that until this morning, he didn't have even a single penny on his personage. Just how poor is that guy? If his bonus really was only $5, then he should not have been able to purchase a pack of Swiss rolls. However, facts being as they are, we found cake crumbs on the floor. Meaning Scruffy must have bought a pack somehow. Indeed. Maybe he just kicked the machine hard enough to just make it spew out something extra. That detective should not have been able to purchase a pack, and yet he did. The question is, how? I mean, one time I found $1 just sitting in, like, the change of a vending machine. Like, the little change pocket. That was a fun day. Maybe he just found another $1 just somewhere at random. It was his lucky day. I believe I now have a very firm grasp on what happened here. Well, I do too. You're not fooling anybody else, Franny. I'm sorry, it's okay. You didn't have the logic menu. No, you wouldn't have known. I would love a game where you play as Francisco, though. That'd be interesting. You probably have a whip button. Oh, would Capcom let you do such a thing? Whip with impunity? But only on the men, though. All right, Francisco. Would you care to share what conclusions you've come to? Why should I do that? We're still in the middle of a competition, you know. We should be checking to see if your conclusions are wrong first, so you go ahead. It's almost cute that she's going this far to ensure that she wins. Almost. Absolutely. Very well, but first we need to pay His Honor a visit to correct his testimony. Alright. Oh, look at that. Facing off against the judge himself in court. You know, I always thought the judge was bigger than that. I just imagined him as this, like, hulking beast of a man. Always ready to lay down the law or visit you in your dreams to smash you with a gavel while you sleep. Okay, Goku, I don't need a hint. I already know that. Your Honor, if I may, I'd like to test your witness testimony to see how it stands up.
Do you doubt me? Am I your new suspect?
In a sense, I suppose you could say that. I know you're mistaken. Even you, a judge, is nothing but a common witness before the Von Karma.
Silence in the courtroom. Silence, I said. Mr. New Prosecutor recommended my method for coming to speak his prosecutor.
You bit your tongue again, didn't you?
As a defender of the law, I could never give false testimony. You can even place me under oath if you want.
Who enforces it? Him still. He is judge and jury, but not executioner. Very well then, your testimony, if you please. Judge always looks like he's towering over them, but here he looks like a normal person. It's the chair. He's essentially sitting in what is a baby's high chair, but for grown men like him. Judge is sus. I saw him vent. Aha! He do be kinda sus though. I voted. His wrinkly little eyes. He can't even look intimidating. Look at him. He wouldn't hurt a fly.
What I saw at recess. Oh, there were some kids playing dodgeball and some hopscotch. Oh, I think I also saw some people playing with jacks. Yes. Recess is a fun time. During the recess, I went to the restroom. There is a window on the hallway side. In other words, I could see into the hallway.
So this must be how... Yeah, that's how the building is laid out. The courtyard is like... It's not like a big center area. It kind of spans and then corners around. That's kind of what we designed, but I'm sure it's structurally sound?
As I entered, I saw that detective buying something from the vending machines. But when I was about to exit the restroom, he had completely disappeared.
If you were the judge, you would have been like, you bit your tongue.
Maybe. A detective that goes missing while on duty? That sounds mighty suspicious to me.
And now the paranoia is setting in. Your Honor, could you please try to remain calm?
Oh. I'm so used to simply listening to testimonies that I got caught up in the excitement.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to spoil your fun now. He thinks the judge is having fun. Only during recess.
During the recess, I went to use the restroom.
How were you using the restroom? How long did it take? Number 1 or number 2? Your Honor, why exactly did you pay a visit to the restroom, if I may ask? Do I want to know the answer? Oh, Udgy.
Oh, well, isn't it obvious? What else do you go to the restroom for? I was powdering my beard. Or maybe, I knew it. You suspect me of some sort of tomfoolery, don't you?
Please stay calm, Your Honor, and this is going to be much harder than I anticipated.
Sorry, it was number 5.
What do you mean a number 5?
The Mambo number 5. I was practicing my dancing. I'm sorry. You're right. I need to think things through with a level head.
His head is very level, so smooth and hairless.
I'm just nervous because so much has happened today with this trial. Let's see. I announced a recess and a time for us to reconvene. But having done all that, I still wasn't able to go to the restroom right away.
And why couldn't you?
Mr. Faraday had been accused, so I had paperwork to process regarding a new prosecutor. Once I had finished that, I was finally able to make a mad dash to the restroom.
Imagine him running at the speed of light. Oops. It must not be easy to go to the bathroom when you're wearing a full, like, judge's robe. Like, how much of it do you have to undo? Do you have to, like, completely undress? At least he stayed consistent on the going to the restroom part of his testimony. You hear me laughing? Well, you better be laughing, too.
There's a window on the hallway side. I could see with my special eyes.
Are they digging under the robe? Well, I mean, like, at the very least, you have to, like, pull the robe dress over, like, your bottom half or something like that. I don't think he's naked. I think he's just, like, you know, wearing boxers or something. Your Honor, did you really have to go to the men's restroom?
What is the meaning of that statement? Do you think I went to the women's restroom? You think I'm some sort of pervert?
No. Are you?
No!
I simply meant that perhaps you went to the restroom on a different floor.
I had to go for such a long time. It was all I could do to dash to the closest one to the courtroom.
Closest one, it's all the way across the building. I suppose that's only natural, given the circumstances.
I ran from the courtroom through the floor's main lobby and down the hallway. Once you enter, you can see there's a window just above the urinals.
That is so awkward. Wait, you gotta lock eyes with someone just doing a tinkle? It's like, yeah, you know what I'm doing right now. It's your fault for looking. I have to stand here. Oh. And it was through that window that you witnessed Detective Gumshoe, Your Honor. I actually really doubt that there are urinals right there. Because how would the plumbing work? Like, that goes outside. Are there pipes just going out? And it was through that window that you witnessed Detective Gumshoe, Your Honor.
Yes, exactly.
Your Honor, there's no need to yell. I can hear you just fine. That's even more sus. All right, Judge did it.
Oh, I guess I put a little too much into that last answer.
The part about the urinals was a little much, yes.
Now then, let's continue with the testimony.
So sus. Sus, it stands for suspecting Udgy, seriously.
Hold it!
He was buying something. Are you sure that the person you witnessed was Detective Gumshoe, Your Honor?
Yes, I'm absolutely sure. It's hard to miss someone of their stature, even from as far away as the restroom. Besides, I can't think of anyone else with that kind of hairstyle and big beige coat.
It was an imposter. Well, I was simply wondering if you were mistaken in what you saw.
What? Preposterous. My eyes are as sharp as they can be, ready to see through lies to the truth. Although, recently, things do seem to be a bit fuzzier than they used to be.
Judge, you need glasses. He still doesn't get glasses like, what, 7 years later? 10 years later? 17 years later? Oh. They do say justice is blind. He might as well be legally blind. Clearly his eyes are not the only thing that have gone fuzzy.
But allow me to say, with all the honor and dignity of a judge, I am not mistaken in what I saw. But when I was about to exit the restroom, he had completely disappeared.
Hold it!
You saw the chicken walk down the hall with someone who died. You didn't see the body. I was hiding in vent. It couldn't have been me. I was hiding from the real killer. He disappeared? But, Your Honor, didn't you just say? I saw that detective buying something from the vending machines. Judge needs to retire. This is the past, even. You know, it does feel like he gets a little bit he gets even sillier as time goes on. I was hiding in the vent. Chicken's an imposter. Wait a minute.
Why, yes, I did. Hide in the vent.
Hiding in the bathroom vent.
The restroom window looks right over the courtyard and right into the hallway. But just as I was about to exit, I took another look, and there was no one in sight. That led me to the only solution to this mystery. That detective must have gone to the crime scene. Lobby number 2 at that point.
So we looked into the hallway from the restroom and over the courtyard. Did he walk?
Hold it!
It's not suspicious. It's just a misunderstanding. Your Honor, I ask that you please remain calm.
No. I'm perfectly calm.
You're being anything but perfectly calm. Perfectly calm. It appears that His Honor could not have been mistaken in what he saw. I suppose so, given his line of sight. However, Francisca, why do you suppose our lines of sight are so different? If you're referring to my height... Oi! Can't you hold that whip still for just a second? Now, about His Honor's testimony. I believe his line of sight to be the important factor. If that's that important, why don't you hurry up and tell him already? I will, but there's one more thing I need to do if I'm to correct His Honor's testimony. I'm going to need to retrace Detective Gumshoe's movements. Boop, boop, boop. He disappeared because he had to go get extra money. Yeah, baby. One of these. Do.
Objection!
That statement right now contradicts with this piece of evidence. He had a reason to go. I guess I'm not proving that quite yet. Oh.
Really? Well then, I guess we're still alright. Please continue with the testimony.
Don't penalize me, we're not in court. I got double overruled. By a child and a man-child. Find a flaw in his testimony. Fast. Yeah, baby. No, baby. Hold on. Maybe something else proves that he left? I wonder. Oh, wait a minute. He was sitting on the bench. Yeah,
Objection!
I almost had it. I thought like, oh, maybe he dropped his $5 and he crouched down. Same kind of thing. He was just, slightly lower.
What was that finger wag for, Mr. Edgeworth? And don't you know it's rude to shout objection while someone is giving testimony?
Isn't that when you're supposed to say it? Huh. If you truly are a man of the law, then you must always be vigilant. Edgeworth's doing... He's still doing the Von Karma poses. Look at the sprite I put at the bottom of the screen. The finger wag. The same thing that both Francisca and Manfred do. Oh, he drops that. He drops that soon enough. If you truly are a man of the law, then you must always be vigilant. For example, I myself never let an opportunity to shout objection pass me by. Ace Attorney in a nutshell. Miles Edgeworth, it's one thing to be passionate about your job, but this is real life. This is what some people may say is the pot calling the kettle black. Your Honor, I wonder if you might take a look at this for me. When the music stops, that's how you know you're right. But I don't want the music to stop.
What is that filth? How dare someone dirty the hallway bench like that? Who's the culprit? That party is hereby found guilty of uncleanliness.
If you must know, the uncouth bench sullier, the rogue bench sullier, has already been placed under arrest thanks to your earlier testimony, Your Honor.
Oh, well, that's good. But who was it?
We were about to discover something from the smudge on the bench. Namely, Detective Gumshoe's fingerprints.
Not happy with committing just murder, he had to go and dirty the courthouse too? Guilty!
Your Honor, please calm down. Did someone why would you go to that, Harris? No, the bathroom was on the other side. Well, it's true that the detective is the one who made the mess on the bench. Made a mess. We have not yet established that this action is related to the double murder. I'll tell you what, he murdered both of those Swiss rolls. That's a double murder.
What do you mean?
It got solid. I believe that the detective bought a pack of the Swiss rolls from the vending machine, and then promptly sat down on the bench to eat one. He probably only ate one, give the other one to whoever he borrowed money from. The cake crumbs and pieces of chocolate on the floor under the bench, and Detective Gumshoe's fingerprints prove my conclusions to be true.
Oh, but I still don't understand.
What did I mean by Solly? Solly just means dirty.
Is this whole thing related to how I couldn't see him as I was leaving the restroom?
It is indeed. The window in the hallway was built rather high up into the wall. I'd be scared if it was any lower. At around a grown adult's chest height. As evidence, I submit that Francisca herself was unable to see out that window, and Edgeworth will get whipped in 3, 2, 1, 0. Got him. Oh! I know I shouldn't have used her height as evidence. Basically, what this means is that that area directly underneath the hallway window is a blind spot when the hallway is being viewed from the men's restroom.
Then?
The trademark, the shrug, the sass. It seems that you have made the connection. If someone were to sit on the bench under the window, yes, even as someone as large as Detective Gumshoe would effectively disappear from sight. Do you finally see, Your Honor? Do you see like Francisca doesn't see? Ow! I'm sorry. Your detective has just proven that Detective Gumshoe was in the hallway this entire time.
Hold it. Sorry. I didn't mean to say it with that much enthusiasm. All I wanted to do was try saying it once. Hold it. Here, let me try it again. Hold it.
Is there something of value that you'd like to say? Something of value. Oof.
Yes, actually there is. I remembered something else just now. Mr. Edgeworth, please allow me to testify to the court one more time.
You're the judge, you allow it. Even if we overruled him, he'd just keep on talking, wouldn't he? That might not be a bad thing. The more info, the better in a perfect investigation, right? I think so.
What I saw.
Point 2, Part 2. Playable teaser 2. Other things that abbreviate to PT.
I suppose it's possible that you can't see a seated person from the restroom window. However, that doesn't mean that the detective was sitting there when I looked. Anyway, I forgot to testify earlier about probably the most important detail. As I was leaving the restroom, I heard the loud bang of a gunshot.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. How do you forget that? It lines up with Bad's testimony, but how did he hear it? How did the judge hear it? But how did Gumshoe not hear it?
How was that? That is the testimony of one who judges the crimes of others.
That's the testimony of an old man who forgets. Your Honor, could you try to state the important facts first next time? I agree. Before you go around judging others, you should learn to judge your own words. Ooh.
I'm sorry. But honestly, I thought that the sound was just a noise popper until just now.
A noise popper? In the middle of court?
Well, yes, every time a trial ends, there's all that confetti and celebration and streamers.
You know what? He's right. A gunshot! He loves... I'm glad that I'm enhancing the experience. Probably should have mentioned that earlier. The judge isn't all there. Welcome on in, Caitlin. How you doing? Now that he mentions it, right before we restarted the trial, he did talk about that.
Oh, by the way, was there someone celebrating a birthday during the recess? I could have sworn that I heard a popper going off. Come to think of it, the other day with my grandson.
The most critical point in the argument is, when did the judge look into the hallway? And whether that lines up with when the gun was actually fired. Your Honor, if I may, I'd like to clarify a few details in your testimony. You remember he said that? I completely forgot. It's been so long. Hey, good thing I got chat to back me up. If you're just tuning in, welcome on in. We're interrogating the judge himself. Again, just the little bits of fan service that this game has are still enjoyable even if you don't know the series. Because these characters are just so wacky. They're so wacky. Oops. I was gonna do that anyway. In that case, do you concede that you were overconfident in your last testimony?
No, hold on there. I just said that it's possible that you can't see a seated person from the restroom this time. But you know something? I don't think you know when the prints you referenced were left on that bench, do you? While we have proven that it is possible the detective was sitting, I still have a problem with just when those fingerprints were left.
Also, Caitlin, what's up? Oh, we got 2 Caitlins in chat. That's gonna be confusing. Welcome on in, Caitlin422. How you doing? He's right. I have yet to prove when the fingerprints were left on that bench. Bigger question is, why is the judge allowing a chicken to prosecute the case? No. Edgeworth's not a chicken. I'm a chicken. I'm only acting through Edgeworth. I'm mind controlling him. Like, he's just a prosecutor-shaped mech, and I'm controlling him from the inside in his empty noggin. In fact, his cravat jabot, that's actually my feathers just peeking out from under his chin. While he feigns ignorance, his honor has seen a lot of life. This judge, I mustn't underestimate him. I think you can. I'm doing some reading for school. Guess you have to duel the other you. Hold on now, behave.
However, that doesn't mean the detective was sitting there when I looked.
Wait. Maybe there's some timing. No.
Hold it!
Guilty. All right, we're gonna have to set up a trial for the case of who is the true Caitlin. As we established, she went to the restroom during the recess. Mind control? No. Just control. He's a robot. However, at what point in the recess did you look into that hallway? Caitlin's doing some reading for school. Oh, well, let me distract you. Let's hope it's law school. Then you can do reading for school and also study at the same time.
After I called for a recess, I handled the change of prosecutor paperwork. Maybe about 20 minutes until we reconvened? Yes, that sounds about right.
Just as I expected.
What were you expecting? And I demand to know what an all-knowing smile is for.
Your Honor, that statement you made just now was very important. I'd like for you to append it to your testimony.
All right, if you insist.
I'm under arrest for mind control. I didn't know it was illegal. Do you have a, can you reference the book of law? Can you tell me exactly which one I'm breaking? You'll go buy lollipops. That works. I also did have pizza for dinner, so delicious.
Let's see, I looked into the hallway 20 minutes before we were to reconvene.
Let's see, maybe there's something that proves that Gumshoe was perfectly innocent 20 minutes before reconvention. I don't think any other evidence I have has anything to do with timing, though. Imagine, though, what if the Swiss roll itself had a little date of vending stamp on it? I bet Japan could have stuff like that. Very, very fancy. I can't believe they're selling Swiss rolls like these in vending machines these days. Yes, and I can't believe it's $6 for 2. I mean, who charges that much for a commoner's junk food? Francisca, if you want one, all you have to do is buy one for yourself. Oh, I'm working right now. It won't do for me to eat while there's a case to be solved. Your idea of working must be vastly different from my own. Edgeworth is someone who eats while he works. I mean, me too. Easy peasy. Well, let's press this a little bit more then. Still soft-spoken. How you doing, Celeste? Welcome, we're interrogating the judge. He's very sus right now. I saw him vent. He's guilty. But apparently he was in the bathroom and he thinks he saw Gumshoe leave. Basically, we're trying to prove whether or not Detective Gumshoe was not responsible for a murder, but he's Gummy! He wouldn't hurt a fly! Even if he had a fly swatter and the flies were landing all over the banquet. 20 minutes before we reconvened. Very well. What did you do after that?
Let's see. I had to make some preparations, so I rushed straight back to the courtroom. I also had to track down a few pieces of paperwork for the various bailiffs.
So you rushed back to the courtroom despite having just heard a gunshot?
Well, at the time, I thought it was just the sound of a noise popper. I really couldn't think of any other explanation than someone having a birthday party.
Who celebrates their birthday in a courthouse? Maybe a kid who's just... his life's dream when he grows up is to become a prosecutor, become a defense attorney, become the judge himself. It ages you 50 years, dude.
But now that this has happened...
Like, does the profile even say how old the judge is? No, right? Yeah. He's actually like 12 years old, but once he became a judge, he's just like, whoop. I see. Edgeworth would celebrate his birthday in the courtroom. Edgeworth would just never celebrate his birthday, let's be honest. Hope you're doing well, by the way, if you're just coming on in. Thinking back, the judge did mention something to that effect when we reconvened. Yes. Now, let's see. I feel like there's something more here. Because I don't find it likely that... Wait. Do we know what time the court was supposed to reconvene? Because we have a time of death. That's the only time-based piece of evidence that we have. Wait a minute. Probably nothing. Yeah, this is just a newspaper. Let's see. Gumshoe says he was in the hall. Handgun. Nothing else says time in it. Now, Detective Bad said right before the trial was about to start again, but that could be 20 minutes, I don't know. Let's listen to the rest of the testimony.
Hold it!
If it's something that's forgettable, I don't need to hear it.
Then why did you ask for it? Why did you say hold it?
I just really like to yell.
All I did was forget to mention it.
That sort of excuse may work on other people, but not on Von Karma.
Oh, but it's such an important piece of testimony. Please give me a chance to present it. Please.
I suppose I have no choice in the matter. He is crying after all.
As I was leaving the restroom, I heard the loud bang.
Bang, bang. Your Honor, but what you just said.
I know, I couldn't believe it. Bang with the gunshot, and I had a knee-jerk reaction and jumped on my seat like this, just like this.
Your Honor, please remain calm when you're trying to explain yourself to me.
Yes, sir. Sorry about that. Now then, I must gather myself, yes. When I heard the gunshot, there was no one at all. I should know I'd looked. There was no one there!
This judge's emotion circuits seem to be stuck on overreact. Be glad Athena's not here to analyze with Widget. Widget would just pop with a rush of emotion. I believe that we finally found the flaw in his Honor's testimony. Yet sadly, he's completely oblivious to it. But I guess I can't really expect him to be aware of it. Well, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and fill him in. At least that thing finally came in handy. Indeed, now let's see what happens when I present it to his owner. Let me just double check. So we know it's 20 more minutes before reconvention, so let's just double check. Is there anything else we have that might have to do with time, you know? It's either, it is either the time of death, but we don't have proof of when. We don't have anything that says court was going to reconvene any other time. Or maybe Detective Bad, when he says, like, right before, he really means right before. I'm gonna try this. Objection!
Objection!
Well, there you go. Wag, wag. Your Honor.
I cannot allow you to make such an objection.
But I got it right, though. The music stopped, though. What? Your Honor, I'm really sorry, but I cannot allow you to I cannot allow you to not allow me to make an objection.
No, you. Egads! I've been overruled?
Edgeworth be pulling out the no you reverse Uno card. Your Honor, there are simply too many holes in your testimony for my taste. I don't like Swiss cheese.
What do you mean by that? A raid?
Hold on, we're finding the truth. Give me 1 second. You claim that you heard the gunshot during the recess, but that is simply not possible.
Oh. Mr. New Prosecutor recommended by Manfred von...
Instead of biting your tongue, why don't you bite the taste of this whip? I see you have no mercy for the elderly either, Francisca. As long as they're not women, apparently. Don't talk to me unless you want to be bit in the back. Maybe I do. Maybe I do. With your height, you need a stepladder of 4 to accomplish that. Maybe even a ladder. Or else you'll get whipped in the butt. Origination, thanks for the raid. How you doing? Can we get a shout out? Harris, thank you. Or not Origination. OMG, it's GB. I read that wrong. Yeah, how you doing? What were you playing? Nino Kuni? Ooh. I've heard that's a fantastic game, very Ghibli inspired. I just never got a chance to play it myself. Hope it was fun. Welcome on in, everybody, from the OMG, it's GB raid. Deadly Simple, what's up? OMG, how you doing? Welcome on in. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen you. I saw that some stuff was going on with you. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you had some fun. Guys, go check out OMG, it's GB. Friend of the stream, friend of Battlefield stream. And, you know, always a pleasure. If you don't know me, if you're coming in from the raid, I like to play RPGs myself, and also some visual novels where I can voice act. So, yeah, enjoy the show.
Mr. Edgeworth, my ears are not that far gone yet, I'll have you know. I can still hear just fine. And I heard the sound of a gunshot, loud and clear, with my own 2 ears.
Your Honor, I have here an interesting bit of testimony. It's from Detective Bad, and according to him, he heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to start again.
What did you just say?
Your Honor, you just said that you heard the gunshot about 20 minutes before we were to reconvene. How do you explain the glaring contradiction?
That could be...
You're no good at reading. There's a lot of reading. That's RPGs, dude. Oh, that's RPGs. I know that all too well. At that point, you gotta make a choice. Do you promise to read every bit of dialogue, or do you let some of it go? Or else it will just take entirely too long. I'll tell you what, I'm playing through Persona 4 right now. Not right now, but I'm in the middle of it. I'm currently 90 hours in. 90 hours in, and my first playthrough of that game was 90 hours. I still have like at least 2 more dungeons to go. That's what it does, man. That's what reading all the dialogue out loud does. It's just part of streaming. I've accepted it. You know, that's just how it's gonna be. But what's important is that you have fun. Let some of it go, 100%. Well, unfortunately, that's not the route I can go. Let's jam to the music, by the way. Unfortunately, that is the truth.
I heard it clear as day. Bang! The loud sound of a gunshot.
The sound of the gunshot? We keep returning to this point of contention. And that piece of evidence, I always did wonder why I found it where I did. It wasn't a gunshot. It's not the sound Detective Bad heard. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe it was a popper. However, now I understand what the gunshot the judge heard really was. Unfortunately, Your Honor, this is what really produced the gunshot you heard.
Take that!
A pink piece of rubber. I found this object in the hallway earlier.
What is that pink substance?
It's bubblegum. I came here to kick ass and chew it.
Unfortunately, I'm all out of ass. It may not look like it, but this is actually a piece of a balloon.
I see. And I suppose you would like me to accept that pink balloon into the court record?
It made the sound. Wait a minute. I'm not presenting for you to take it. I present it so that you can take that. Your Honor, I present this piece of evidence in order to overrule your testimony.
What?
Your Honor, your argument goes as follows. You saw no one in the hallway when you heard the gunshot. Now, there is no guarantee that the detective was sitting on the bench at that time. Therefore, you believe he must have been at the crime scene, defendant lobby number 2. Am I correct? Your reading is like trying to speak languages that can't be known. I mean, same here. Yeah, I make it work somehow. You just gotta have the intonation, the inflection. When you update the autopsy report, here we go. I know I played that, but it's got some no-no words, so I'm not gonna show it. But still, though, that's a classic. You thought that pop sound was Gumshoe opening his snack. I don't think they'd be that pressurized unless the courtroom is on top of a hill.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Let me ask you something. Do you think that gunshot you heard was produced by a real gun? I think I've said enough that even you can figure out the rest on your own. Your Honor, you were fooled by the popping of this balloon into thinking it was a gunshot.
What manner of trickery is this?
Bang, bang.
That was a good effort you put forth, Miles Edgeworth. But if it was me, I'd have wrapped this thing up before the judge even testified. Well, that's just rude. Don't even bother hearing him out. Wow. Care to elaborate on how one even ends something before it begins? How do you contradict? She's just like, no, here's the truth. I win. Goodbye.
Well, to be honest, I did think that sound was a bit off from a real gunshot sound. But who could have guessed that someone would pop a balloon in a place like this?
That's true. One doesn't usually think balloons in conjunction with courthouse. Unless it was on purpose.
I want to trade these coins with you.
That's it. That balloon that girl was holding. It explains everything. Did you really have to realize that right now? Your Honor, if it makes you feel any better, you didn't lie once in your testimony.
Hey, good. I thought my memory was going in my age.
However, I can't really vouch for its accuracy.
Oh no, that giving testimony could be such a difficult thing to do. What have I done? I owe Detective Gumshoe a very, very big apology. As big as his paycheck.
That's not very big.
I will see to it myself that he is released.
Wait! There are still a few things I have yet to resolve about what happened in the hallway. Your Honor, I requested your permission to further question Detective Gumshoe.
Oh, but why? I thought we just cleared his name.
Whether we did just now or not, I still cannot say. The only thing I can do for now is continue in my quest for the perfect explanation. And to that end, I must resolve the remaining issues pertaining to the events that occurred in the hallway.
Very well. Bailiff, please bring Detective Gumshoe into the courtroom.
But you don't need the bailiff, we're not in the court. I must fulfill my mission and find the perfect explanation to this case. Maybe I shouldn't have said that so cheerfully. I must find the perfect explanation to this case. You know, I would have thought there was a save point. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna take a very quick break, and I'll be back in like 5 minutes. Not super long, but I will have to cut this out of the video. So sit right there. Sit right there, or you know, if you need to go, or if you need to go to sleep. Also, have a good night. I'll be right back. Jump cut. All right, we're back. September 10th, District Court, courtroom number 3. Gumshoe's gonna come in to testify.
Let's see if we can get the truth out of him.
It's not gonna be very hard. He's a very honest man. Look at him.
What is it now? Is it time for my trial already? I've already told you a gazillion times, pal. I didn't do it.
I'll be the judge of that, Detective Gumshoe. Or at least the prosecutor. No, you won't. I will be the judge of that.
No. I'm the judge around here, and I'll be the judge of that. Why can't you guys be a little less judgmental? Yes, well, speaking of hasty judgments, Detective Gumshoe, I'm afraid I must apologize for an error in judgment on my part.
Welcome back, by the way. Hope you had a good break. Lots of interrogating going on. I got my water. We're good. Hope you're doing well. Also, you, especially you, Rav, just coming in. Hope you're doing well. Your Honor, I don't believe you should apologize just yet. We have yet to prove he is completely innocent of this crime.
I guess so. What are you guys talking about?
In any case, I would like you to testify as to your actions while you were on guard duty. And please remember, you are not on trial. This is all just a part of the investigation.
Then, why are we holding it inside the courtroom?
Well, I was really expecting to have some sort of argument in here today. I wore my good suit and everything. As such, you may still be found to be innocent. However, if you should give false testimony...
Yow!
My whip will object, loud and clear. If you are found to be lying, you will be held indefinitely. Understood? You'll be held forever and ever, till the day you die.
I got you, pal.
Thinking back on the state of the crime scene and the judge's testimony, it's obvious that Detective Gumshoe is lying. And if I can't break his lie, then we may never get a break in this case. Gumshoe isn't even staring, he's just doing his usual eyebrow wiggle. Oh, Gummy, how I've missed you. Nice dancing during the break, everybody, by the way.
I came down here to this courthouse on Detective Bad's orders. As soon as I got here, he ordered me to stand guard in front of lobby number 2. From that point in time on, until I heard the gunshot, I was in that hallway the whole time. On my honor as detective, I swear it wasn't me, pal.
Trying to make it so that his voice is distinct from the judge's. He's still singing the same tired tune. Hey, it's still good. I put it on my iPod. I'll listen to it every day on shuffle. And in that case, I'll just have to change the melody. I know he's lying, and it's time I pulled the information I need out of him.
While I was on duty.
On Detective Bad's orders. Nothing wrong with that, but can you tell us a little bit more? So was it really Detective Bad who called you down here?
You bet it was, pal. I was left in charge at the precinct while everyone was out, and this call comes in. I want you down here in 1 minute flat, he asked. Well, I thought this was my big chance, my first case, so I made a mad dash down here. But, although I couldn't exactly get here in a minute flat.
So how long did it take you?
About 10 minutes, I guess.
And what was Detective Bad doing when you finally made it?
He was waiting for me down on the first floor in the entranceway, pal. As soon as I got here, he ordered me to stand guard in front of lobby number 2.
But maybe they were already dead by then? And by he, you mean...
Detective Bad, of course. And this being my first time in the courthouse, he also walked with me up to the 3rd floor hallway in front of the defendant lobbies.
And did you meet anyone along the way?
Well... Just as we entered the hallway, I ran into Miss U. When we heard from Miss U that Mr. Faraday was not to be interrupted.
Suspicious. Now, she was the only person that said that he was not to be interrupted. Maybe because he was too busy being dead.
That's when Detective Bat told me to stand guard in the hallway, pal.
So far, Detective Gumshoe's testimony is matching up with Detective Bad's. So far. Hold it! Hold it. Hold it. Hold it.
Hold it!
Just doesn't work. Hold it. You claim to have been in that hallway the whole time. However, is it not the fact that you did something while you were in that hallway?
No, of course I did something. I guarded the door to lobby number 2, pal. What else?
Very well then. What exactly does guarding that door entail?
Well, to put it simply, oh, I know. It was my job to stand in front of the door without moving an inch.
Hold it! Oh? Hold the door! I need to go through. Detective Gumshoe, you mean to tell me that you didn't take a single step away from the door to lobby number 2? Is that really what you wish to testify to the effect of?
You got it, pal. I didn't take a single step away from that door, just like I was ordered not to.
You mean just like you were ordered to. We already know you're lying!
Why is everyone so quiet all of a sudden?
Because we are all in shock and in awe of your utter stupidity. Scruffy! If you're going to tell us a lie, at least tell us a more believable one.
Ouch! I am not lying.
I should hurry up and bring this insipid testimony to a close. Then we missed out on all the dialogue, man. Until I hit the gunshot, you didn't take a single step away. You said you didn't hurt nothing, dude. When did you start believing that? I'm only going to ask you one more time, Detective Gumshoe. Are you sure you stood in front of the door to lobby number 2 the entire time?
Yep. After I was told to by Detective Bad, I stood guard in front of the door without taking a single break. So believe me when I say that I was in that hallway the whole time already, pal. Why did everyone go quiet all of a sudden again?
Apparently, someone has a bit of trouble reading between the lines.
What's that supposed to mean? I don't...
Be quiet!
Ouch! I'm just saying I don't know how to read. It's a problem.
I should hurry up and bring this... Okay, sure, let's press the last statement. Might as well. Because I know exactly what the contradicts. Would you also be willing to swear there was no one else in the hall besides you?
What are you talking about? I just swore to you that I was doing my job, pal.
That's not what I asked. Oh? Then what are you acting so nervous for?
What? I'm not nervous at all, pal.
Hold it!
Anyway, not a single person other than myself was in that hall the whole time.
I should just let it go. Pursuing this train of thought at this time would just be a waste of time. To have such a foolishly foolish contradiction. I swear, I don't think Francisca says foolishly foolish all that much in Ace Attorney 2, right? This is totally just taking it to the extreme. Fan service. In such a foolishly foolish testimony, it's just plain old foolish. Indeed. However, in the pursuit of the perfect investigation, I'm afraid we'll have to deal with it by squashing it under the weight of the evidence. The effects in this game are outstanding. They really are. When I was in college, I actually thought about building a game engine. You know, I was just starting out programming when I was in college, so I'm like, what can I do with my extent of, scripting knowledge? I tried to make a little game engine that took in a script of how the game's supposed to go, and then you start to realize how much goes into making a game like Ace Attorney. It's a visual novel, right? This was before I knew about things like Pyrite, Ace Attorney Online, engines to just make cases.
And this was also before I knew about, like, was it RenPy? All those engines to just straight up make visual novel games in Python. Like, no. I was doing it from scratch. Just using C++. I was just thinking, like, oh, just make an XML file. You have, like, the character's dialogue and also the decision trees. And then I have to, like, do a little scripting for, like, the color each word has to be. And then I have to do, like, oh, in the middle of this sentence, there's a bling sound effect. I gave up on the project. It was just so much for a beginner to have to do. That just shows how much care that Capcom put into these games, you know? Just make them the perfect presentation. Oops. I already knew that was true. Skip.
Kida Queen bites a dusto.
Travel back in time to before I wasted our time. Then take a single step away until you heard the gunshot. Two things. I know you did not.
Objection!
Write in assembly. Oh, it'll be much faster. I get so much more control. That's what the Uncharted devs did. I have an objection. Ew, Edgeworth! Oh, he said objection.
What is it, pal?
Detective Gumshoe, I wonder if you might recognize this from somewhere.
Hey, it's one of those things. The courthouse special Swiss rolls, right, pal?
Why do you know so much about them? Huh, precisely. In that case, I suppose, yay, that you also recall the sullied hallway bench?
Hey, you know what? I think it was probably me that did that. Detective Gumshoe, you know you can't go around emptying up the courthouse like this.
You inconsiderate, slovenly pig!
No, I promise to clean it up later, I swear.
Now then, shall we get down to business about the fact that you didn't move even a single step from in front of that door? If that really were the case, then how were you able to buy a pack of Swiss rolls? Furthermore, if you didn't move a single step from in front of the door, how did you manage to get the bench dirty with your grubby hands?
Ouch!
It appears that Francisca's whip can do more damage than my words alone can. Don't worry, Edgeworth, your tongue will sharpen with time, especially if you write it against a 1-grit sandpaper stone.
Alright, I confess, pal. I was hungry, so I bought a pack for myself, okay? I thought I'd get chewed out again if anyone found out about me eating on the job. So I didn't want to say anything. Well, unfortunately for you, I saw you do the whole dastardly deed. I clearly saw you buying a pack of Swiss rolls from the vending machine. Oh, okay. I'm sorry for lying. But that's all I'm sorry for, you got that? Because I'm not holding anything else back.
That last statement, it may sound like it makes sense. However, there is something I don't quite believe about it. Are you sure you're not withholding further information from us?
Huh? Oh, of course not. I got nothing else to hide, pal.
Objection! Humph. Oh, if only that were true, Detective Gumshoe.
But it is true, pal. I swear there's nothing else.
Detective Gumshoe, I'm sure you are aware of the price of a pack of Swiss rolls, correct? What's wrong? Did someone overprice your sweet roll?
Huh? Remind me again, pal.
That vending machine out in the hallway is selling packs of 2 Swiss rolls for $6 a pack. And yet, according to you, you didn't have any cash on you until you cashed your $5 annual bonus check. Isn't that right? Oh, that was an annual check. Oh, I thought it might have been monthly or something. That's even more sad. Oh, please don't tell me this is right before Christmas. It's in September, right? Okay, I think he's still got time. Maybe he'll get a Christmas bonus. Let me ask then, how did you manage to purchase a pack all by yourself?
How did I manage?
Sorry, I slipped of the tongue. Can you provide me with a proper explanation to that?
I told you I bought it by myself, pal. There wasn't anyone else in that hallway with me. So there's no one else who could have helped me buy it.
Suspiciously specific denial.
Wait, don't tell me. You got some kind of proof that there was someone else in the hallway, don't you?
Correct.
As if you could. I mean, what are the chances of that? Wait, you do? This is an Ace Attorney game? You wouldn't make the argument without, okay. I see how it is.
Of course I do.
How?
What proof do I have that there must have been someone else there in that hallway? I have a balloon that got popped when somebody else was in there.
What the heck is that? I knew you didn't really have anything.
Wait a minute.
You prosecutors are all the same, always lying to people. You should stop, you know.
No! I refuse to be lectured by the likes of you, detective. Miles, how long do you plan on being strung along by this moronic detective? I have no intention of falling for his lie because there was definitely a second person. Because if he was truly alone all along, that piece of evidence should not exist. The Swiss roll. Man, I'm overthinking things, as usual. I mean, the Swiss roll would exist, it would just be in the machine.
Yeah, you showed that to me not 2 seconds ago, pal.
I think you're under the mistaken impression that I bought this pack of rolls.
Wait, if you didn't buy it, then it means you must have stolen it, you thief.
I would never do such a thing.
All you liars are the same. You start out as thieves. You're under arrest, pal.
Wait a minute, Kei's not even the Itagarasu yet. I believe you meant to assert that all thieves start out as liars. Unless they're stealing the truth. And in that case, what does that say about you, detective? This particular Swiss roll was dropped by a certain someone. The guard in the middle of Skyrim. He took an arrow to the knee.
Oh,
There were 2 rolls in the package. We never got allowed to eat them. We never eat them. We were never allowed to open the package. I tried though. You ate one of them, but you then gave the other one to a certain other person, didn't you?
no way, pal. You got it all wrong. I ate both of them.
Uh-huh. Let's open it right here. Wait a minute, my leg! Ha-ha! Dodged. Oh, she's ready. She's ready. She's hip. She got that stance. Ready to kick me a new one. It would appear that we've caught you at last. And then critical hit.
Hey, don't you dare do anything bad to that girl.
It would appear that they do know each other after all. Like, look at her animation. This is the most I've seen any Ace Attorney character move. At least in any of the 2D games. Like, I bet somebody who used to work on the 2D Capcom fighting games just had a field day. Like, I want to know if there's a full sprite of this. Just give her, like, put her next to Ryu and Ken and then have them spar. She's ready. She's ready to go. So, why do you continue to come up to me and kick me? Have I wronged you somehow?
I have a name, and it's Kay.
Kay what?
Kay Faraday.
Faraday? Are you perhaps Mr. Faraday's daughter?
I'm not a you, I'm Kay.
You, Kay, right, left. I can't keep track of all these names. Okay. You know, good little girls don't kick other people. Especially not hard enough to leave big, nasty bruises like the way you do. You can't tell, but that last one just left Edward's entire shin just swollen and pink.
Well, then you shouldn't have got me under arrest, mister.
Gummy? She just wants Fugami to be innocent.
My guess is that she's talking about Detective Gumshoe.
What a cute nickname you've given him.
Gummy didn't do anything wrong.
Okay.
It appears that I will need to speak with her in a little more detail. Adorable! Wow! I can't. Look. How much rage comes in such a small little package? Wait, what are Francisco's thoughts about this? Notice anything? Notice the small ball of anger? That girl, she seems to know that scruffy detective. Maybe she knows something about him that we don't. Agreed. However, she seems to be rather uncooperative at the moment. She's like a stray alley cat. I wonder what would happen if we fed her. Perhaps I will try feeding her. Maybe a Swiss roll? She's not her when she's hungry. Hold on, let me see if there's other dialogue that we'll miss by, continuing the plot. It appears that we caught you red-handed, eating a Swiss roll. I suppose if he was eating a red velvet cake, he'd be even more red.
Look, I'm sorry about lying to you, pal.
And? You have nothing else to say?
Sure do. It was so fluffy and sweet and big. Oh, it was perfection, pal. And totally worth every penny of my bonus.
I didn't need more information about the role. I see. Well, good for you, detective. I can't believe it, but it's almost funny when a fool is this unbelievably foolish. That's the plan. Doing the head scratch and the overworld sprite.
Oh dear.
What's the matter, Your Honor?
I claimed hand and fair verdicts, but I unfairly cast suspicion on the big fella. If this had been a trial just now, I would have destroyed his life.
Well, good thing I found the truth.
I am the guilty one. Oh.
We all make mistakes, Your Honor. To err is human, to forgive divine, as they say. Also, if you were to make a mistake during a trial, then it would be quite unforgivable. Nah, Audrey? Never. Alright, little girl. What can I do to make you stop killing me slowly with every blow? Just a punch straight to the chest. Now then, Kay. Whoa! She's like a stray cat. I wonder if I should feed her something. Feed her? Yeah, feed her your dad's blood. Oh my god, no.
Take that!
The only edible thing in the inventory. Okay, I promise to give this to you if you calm down.
Oh, a Swiss roll.
It really belongs to you, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was saving it for Daddy.
Oh.
Oh, my.
Your father. He's...
Don't you say another word, pal. She doesn't know yet.
Thanks for watching out for me, Gummy. But I already know about Daddy. I overheard the guards talking about how Daddy's he's not here anymore.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I couldn't protect them.
Okay.
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna.
It's alright. Let it all out. Your father just passed away after all. Wow, don't remind her, Edgeworth. How about you just, take that jabot off your suit and just give it to her as a handkerchief? She'll need it. I, myself, was also involved in a case at this courthouse when I was a young child. A case in which my father, who was a defense attorney, passed away. Nice Game Boy Advance quality flashback. All of my dreams of becoming a lawyer were crushed into fine ash on that nightmarish day. Well, you still are a lawyer, just a prosecuting one. Even now, yeah, I know they mean defense lawyer. Even now, the wound festers deep in the depths of my soul. And at this point, he still believes it. Ever since that incident, I've dedicated myself to locking away every criminal I can. And now, to have this happen right in front of me. This child. I feel a certain shared fate. A common bond between us.
Miles Edgeworth, what sort of gentleman are you? Are you going to just stand there and watch a lady cry?
You're right. Sorry about that. Okay, here. How about we use this handkerchief here and dry your little eyes? Oh yeah. That's a better handkerchief. Oh, my cravat! Don't blow your nose on that! Why didn't he have this flashback in the Blue Badger arc? To save it for now. Maybe, you know what? She can keep it. She can keep the cravat. See, he calls it a cravat.
I feel better now. Thanks.
Does anybody know where the bathroom is? I need to change. Oh, I can feel it. Oh, I can smell it. Okay. All right. Okay, are you going to be all right?
Yep, I'm already alright.
Somehow I highly doubt that, but I'm not going to push it. Edward, sometimes things aren't that deep.
I promised Daddy I'd never cry in front of strangers.
And you're a good kid, aren't you, Kay? You always keep your promises, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Even if I can't see Daddy anymore, I'm still going to keep all my promises.
You're a very brave girl, Kay.
You're a very good child for keeping the promises you made to your papa. I'll even testify that you didn't cry. Just for you.
Francisca, that's perjury.
Thank you very much, lady.
Lady.
Oh, Francisca's feeling real proud of that one.
Ha! It's nothing. I'm only telling the truth after all.
It would appear that because her father was a respected prosecutor, Francisca is sympathetic to Kay's feelings. Something in common. Yeah, not much respect for Von Karma in the near future, I will say. Your father. Look at her. She's so smug. She takes after her daddy. Look at that. It's not as extreme, but it's getting there. Kay, what kind of person was your father?
Daddy was a hero of justice, like the Steel Samurai.
Who the heck is that? Steel what? Sounds ridiculous.
His job was to catch all the bad people in the world.
Every single one. So to you, a prosecutor is a hero of justice, huh? I suppose we are in a sense, as we are the ones who seek guilty verdicts for criminals.
Plus, you know what? Whenever I came to the courthouse, Daddy would buy me my absolute favorite treat, Swiss rolls.
Oh?
I want to be a hero of justice someday, just like Daddy. So I've been working really hard.
I see. And what have you been working hard on?
I've been working hard to keep all the promises Daddy and I made together.
It's a promise book. It's just held together by a little binder clip. A promise notebook. May I take a look inside, Kay?
Sure, okay.
It appears to be an exchange diary of sorts between father and daughter. Adorable! Wow!
Mr. Faraday's writing conveys a sense of the kind of man he was. It says right here, eggs, milk. Oh, this is a grocery list. This little notebook just might come in handy later. Promise notebook data. Ooh. I want to take a look at that immediately. What kind of secrets? Reveal to me. Touch the check button for details. Promises to Daddy. Promise number 1, never take things from a stranger. Promise number 2, never go anywhere with a stranger. Promise number 3, always greet people with a smile, even strangers. Promise number 4, never cry in front of strangers. Promise 5, always try your hardest to learn about strangers. Daddy's job is to make sure that everyone follows the rules. Okay, be a good girl and promise that you'll keep your promises to me, okay? Love, your Daddy. Oh, who dares? Who dares take Burn away from his family, from his daughter, his sweet, sweet daughter?
They will pay. They will pay dearly.
Thank you for showing it to me, Kay. I hope you'll continue to work hard and become a hero just like your father.
I'm gonna try.
Hey, Kay. So I'm a detective that catches the bad people, right? That makes me a hero too.
Sure.
Yeah, you're really cool too, Gummy.
Gummy, I love it. Windy, welcome back. You're just in time. For what? I don't know. You're just in time to see Gumshoe, his innocence proven. But we still need to find out who killed Burn Faraday. Oh, you missed it though. You missed the cravat sneeze. The cravat nose blowing. It's okay. Edgeworth definitely doesn't miss it. Food Gummy. That's him, cause he's so sweet. Oh, she's just the smallest bean, isn't she?
Yeah, aren't I, Kay?
What is with the two of them?
I hand down verdicts of justice, so that makes me a hero too.
Yes, and thanks to your also heroic testimony, you almost painted that detective as a vile criminal and sent him off to jail.
I'm really sorry about that.
Gummy is not a bad man, okay?
Here we go. Just start playing like Ryu's theme. This kind of almost sounds like it. That poor judge. He's being treated like a vile criminal rather than a hero of justice. You missed Kay crying. That too, it was so sad. She knew. She knew. It's always the most tragic when someone finds out about a loved one's death. Like, not even through any sort of like respectful or dramatic means. It's just like offhand. She listened to the guards just talking over on the side. Oh, it just hits you like, is it real? There's no way. I can't even ask if it's real because they're not talking to me. It appears you and Detective Gumshoe are good friends, Kay. The question is, why didn't Gumshoe remember Kay?
Yeah, we're friends.
In that case, would you mind telling me a little more about him? She moves like a boxer, all right. Put her in the next Street Fighter game. Let's just go all out. Like, Capcom loves to combine all of their properties, like Final Fight and Street Fighter are the same universe. I think what's their other property? Not Ninja Gaiden, but Strider. Strider also has like a shared character with the Street Fighter universe. Just let's go all in. Let's say Ace Attorney is part of the same world too. It could make sense. So I take it that you ran into Detective Gumshoe earlier. Just put K in as a skin for Sakura or something.
Yep. I was on my way to see Daddy when I saw Gummy standing there. He was standing in the hallway staring really hard at the vending machine. So I said hi.
Don't talk to strangers. Whatever you do, don't. No, you. Actually, the promise book doesn't say anything about not talking to strangers. Just don't take things, don't go anywhere with a stranger, don't cry in front of them. Become friends with everybody, and then they'll never be strangers. And when was this?
Huh? Before everything got crazy.
How long were the two of you together?
We only talked for a little while, and then we went on our own ways.
That's right, pal. Kay and I only talked for a little while, and that's it.
Oh? Which means
We have now confirmed that Kay was in the hallway during the recess. Isn't that right?
Duck, you got me!
I told you to stop picking on Gummy, mister!
Very well then. I'll just have to speak with the good detective in private later. About his salary. Swiss rolls. Wait a minute, I didn't show her my badge. What kind of prosecutor am I? Were you the one who bought the pack of Swiss rolls, Kay?
Well, I didn't really have a lot of money. And I somehow made $1 out of all the pennies and quarters I had. But that still wasn't enough, and I really, really wanted one.
Come to think of it, she did come and ask me to exchange a handful of change for $1. Edgar, did you count it? Oh, she pulled a fast one on you. I bet if you actually like put together all the money you got, he was probably like, oh, it's almost $1. It's good enough. And that's when you came and asked me to change your money, correct?
Yeah, thanks so much for doing that, mister.
She was probably short like 5 cents. You know what? Kay, you can have the money. You can have the money. It's your payment for being adorable. And sassy. What's with this sassy lost child? That's her. That's her right there. Sure. But let me ask you, even with that $1, you still didn't have enough, correct?
Well, that's why.
Hey, if you bully Kay anymore, I'm gonna have to arrest you, pal.
Need I remind you that you're the one already under arrest?
Yow!
I sense that Kay is going to be far less than forthcoming with this question.
Sorry about your ruffly thing.
Yes, well, now that it is positively drenched in your nasal mucus. Don't worry, Kay, I have a spare. So here, you can have this one. Forever. Ew! Oh, it's just a clip-on! You know what? I don't really know what a jabot is supposed to affix, how it's really supposed to affix to your shirt. Oh, we're seeing like pixelated Edward's bare chest right about now.
But Daddy said...
No, we're friends. That makes us not strangers. Harris, thanks for the hydrate. Gumshoe's getting arrested? No, not anymore. Not anymore. He's good. I hope.
Never take things from a stranger.
It's one of the promises you made in your promise notebook, correct?
Yeah, look, see? It's right here on this page.
Number 1. Alright then. I'm not giving this to you. I'm merely allowing you to borrow it. Hey, wait a minute. Of course, Edward's a lawyer. He knows all the loopholes. This is far from a legally binding contract. You can take it home, wash it nice and clean, and then give it back to me the next time we meet.
Okay. Daddy said I could never said I couldn't borrow things from strangers.
Pixelated naked Edward neck. Fan's gonna go wild. Oh, too late. He already put a new one on. But does he just keep the extra in his pocket? Now then, Detective Gumshoe.
Uh-oh.
I believe it is now crystal clear that you were with little Kay in this hallway.
Ooh.
No! I told you to stop being mean to Gummy!
Hold it!
Hold it! Miles Edgeworth, there is still something you have yet to resolve.
I beg your pardon.
You still haven't offered an explanation for why that man would lie to us.
That's... well...
Gummy? Don't tell me you lied for my sake.
Hey, don't worry about it, Kay. Everything's gonna be okay. Kay.
Everything will be okay. Oh, so that's why.
So, that was Detective Gumshoe's motive for lying. If you can't explain that, then you can't call this a perfect investigation.
His reason for lying is very simple.
What?
Here's what I believe to be his reason.
From simple observation of the detective's actions and his interactions with Kay, it is obvious that the detective was lying for the young girl's sake. And this piece of evidence will show you exactly why. Which piece of evidence proves that Detective Gumshoe was lying on account of Kay? The fact that he didn't hear nothing. Right there. Didn't hear a sign of a oh, he did hear the gunshot. Then... Bum, 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 bum. Because he was breaking the promise. Baby, yes?
Take that!
She was breaking the promise. Stranger. Mr. Faraday and Kay's promise notebook? How does this explain anything? If you could take a look at this page, it's clearly written that Kay should never take things from a stranger. When Detective Gumshoe heard about that promise, he tried to cover for Kay. Even if Bern Faraday wasn't even around. He was keeping the story straight so he wouldn't find out. Oh, Gumshoe is such a good egg. Oh.
What a foolishly foolish fool's fool of a foolish reason for a fool! Fool!
Ew!
Gummy, you lied because of me, didn't you?
Because I'm your... apparently, I'm Prosecutor Edgeworth.
Because I'm your friend, Kay. That's why.
But if you're a friend, you're not a stranger.
Gummy!
Edgeworth's eyes are younger in the Take That card. Edgeworth's younger sprite is just so well done. I can't even, as an artist, pinpoint to you what about his sprite makes him look younger. Like, he's not particularly wrinkly in his regular sprite, so I can't just say he's less wrinkled. Like, his chin is still the same shape, but it's just different enough. It's different enough that he does look younger, I just can't exactly say how. I think his hair is shorter, but that shouldn't be... That alone is enough to make him look younger? Maybe? Hold on, let me fetch something. Here. This might work. Da-da-da-da-da. Wait, not that one. If I can find a sprite of Edgeworth. That one? That's not good. It's funny, but it's not. You know what? I'll use it anyway. Here. Compare the two. Can you spot the differences? I can't. They look exactly the same. Okay, this is a terrible example because it's Photoshop, so the face shape is not quite right. Honestly, his mouth looks entirely too big. Let's do this one. This one's better. Yup. Uh-oh. Yup. You! My younger self, you are not me. You are an imposter. How can I be here talking to my own younger self? I did not travel back in time. I think his head is slightly bigger in the older sprite. I mean, the past sprite, the younger sprite. That's one thing. Making a head bigger is a sign of youth. Let's see. His hair is definitely longer as he gets older. That's another one. And there's something about the way he carries his brow. Like, his eyes look a little more tired. Just slightly. Like, there aren't huge bags under his eyes, but you can tell they're just... The lines under his eyes are that tiny bit more saggy. Yeah, his brow less hardened. You know what? As an artist, I really need to... At least as somebody who draws sometimes, I can't even claim to be an artist. Those are things that you just need to subtly watch out for. Objection! You! Stop trying to be me! I found you, faker! At long last, Detective Gumshoe, can you please tell me the whole truth now? The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Guess there's no beating you, huh, pal? Okay, I'll spill the goods.
You've already spilled enough Swiss roll as it is. All over the ground.
I'd been standing guard for a while. I was getting really hungry, and that snack vending machine was taunting me. But all the cash you had on...
But
But all the cash you had on you was $5, and that wasn't enough to buy anything, right? After all, the cheapest item in that machine is a $6 pack of Swiss rolls.
Yeah, but then, like an angel from heaven, Kay showed up.
A balloon angel. Like Kid Icarus himself.
I was thinking about sharing a stack with Daddy, so I wanted to buy a Swiss roll. But I only had about $1 in coins.
Does the machine not take coins?
So we pulled my $5 and a $1 together, and bought a pack of Swiss rolls together.
But I was worried about breaking one of my promises. So then Gummy said,
Mr. Faraday's one scary guy when he gets mad. But don't worry, you won't get in trouble if I don't tell, right?
You know, if you just, follow the logic here, Gumshoe knows who Mr. Faraday is, because, he works with him. Like, maybe it's his first day as a detective, maybe he's very early as a detective. But I'd say that's close enough to not a stranger that he'd probably let it pass. Well, too late now. You read a while back that the proportions of the eyes, space between eyes, nose, and mouth help signal age. Yeah. It's something that you kind of just know from studying. The more you draw, the more you realize, like, oh, you just inherently know what makes a person look younger versus older.
You won't get in trouble if I don't tell, right? Besides, you bought it with me. So you didn't really get it from me, you know?
he told me to be okay. And he gave me a whole roll to save and give to Daddy.
Wow. Oh, there you go. There's that funky calypso whatever remix of Detective Gumshoe's theme that I just adore so much. Here we go now. What? Let's go. Let's go. Let's see some dances in the chat. Some specialists. Some Mario, please. Find Luigi. Oh. No, that Scruffy could be so considerate. Indeed. Detective, I take it that you then sat down on the bench and ate the rolls together. Oh yeah, dancing time.
Yeah, we split the other roll and ate it right then.
So that's why there's crumbs on the floor. You have to break it in half.
The sweet taste of that cake's chocolate. I'll never forget it as long as I live, pal.
Anyway, I'm not gonna lie, I know how Gumshoe feels. Not too long ago, I made an order of cupcakes from this cupcake place, not too far from my apartment. You know, just to save and eat one every now and then. For a limited time, because of, I don't know, fall or something, they have German chocolate cupcakes. And it's actual German, not like Franziska von Karma German. And they have like the nut paste, whatever, on top, and the rich chocolate. It's so good. Ah, man, German chocolate pie, cake, it's all delicious. One of my favorite, like, flavors of pie and cake. Kay, I believe this also belongs to you. I don't think she wants it anymore.
Oh, that's what the balloon I popped.
Because when she sat on the bench, the balloon just happened to touch the cactus. It's bad manners to leave garbage lying around, Kay.
I'm sorry.
Well, I guess I can't blame you for not throwing this piece away. It was sitting high up on a windowsill where you couldn't see it. So, just as fans, I forgive you.
But that balloon, I wanted to surprise Gummy a little, so I popped it on purpose.
On purpose?
And because of me, Gummy dropped his half of the Swiss roll.
Oh, that's why Gumshoe cherished it so much. Oh!
Wow, you really got me there, pal.
But also he's sad because he just wasted most of his bonus. Still though, it was a fun moment. Priceless moment.
So I thought maybe I should give Gummy this other roll. And then, I saw you picking on Gummy, mister.
So you kicked me, is that it? I'll tell you what, Edgeworth's HP bar definitely went down at least like 25%. Super special KO! You sure are a feisty one.
I'm really sorry, mister.
It's all right. I'm perfectly unharmed. But about the Swiss roll, would it be all right with you if I held on to it until Detective Gumshoe is cleared of all charges and free to go?
Yeah, sure. Just make sure you give it to Gummy afterwards, okay?
Of course, I promise. Things are gonna go stale by then. Now then, I believe we have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that Detective Gumshoe was in the hallway for the entire duration of this duty, which undeniably proves that Detective Gumshoe could not have committed the double murders. Objection! Who's... Oh yeah, right, that's her voice. It does not match what I think she's supposed to sound like. 100%. Objection! Sounds like a dude. No. She should be like, objection! Perfect. Francisca is softer with girls and kids. Oh yeah, if that wasn't immediately obvious with how she unceremoniously whips anybody else at the mere glance of hostility. Actually, it proves just the opposite, Edgeworth. You've just shown that Detective Gumshoe is the only one who could have committed the crime. Yeah, tell it to the judge, miss you. He's literally standing right behind you. No. If Gumshoe's innocent, if he was standing outside the whole time, then the murders could have only taken place before this whole ordeal. And, I got an idea of who it may be. What do you mean? It's quite rude to eavesdrop, monsieur. I'm getting lectured on manners by a girl with a penchant for whipping people. What? How dare you talk back with such insolence? If you do not stop, I will whip Edgeworth.
You're wrong, lady. Gummy's not the bad guy.
Oh, and what do we have here? What is a child doing here in the courthouse? Bailiff, please take this child in. Uh-oh, she's on the run. What? Miss Callisto, that girl is Mr. Faraday's... I know. So what? You think that just because she's the victim's daughter, she gets to just run wild all around the crime scene? Yes. I think it's actually quite dangerous for her to speak nothing of getting underfoot. I suppose you're right. However, as long as we're in agreement on that point, let's get back to the real issue at hand. Now then, detective, you were in front of the door to lobby number 2 the entire time, correct?
Yeah, but...
You see, isn't it obvious that it could only be the detective? He is the only person who could have gone into lobby number 2 at the time of the murders. I have no counter-argument to that. Don't worry, I've already put in the necessary paperwork for his formal arrest. But the investigation is far from over. Oh, that's right. I was going to speak with you about that. Don't you think it's reckless to talk to the suspect out in the open without a guard? I suppose it is. Well, as someone with more experience in law than you, allow me to share something. Always keep a good eye on a criminal, or you may regret what comes of your negligence. Oh, Miles, I can't believe you're letting this woman lecture you out like this. This is unforgivable as a disciple of Von Karma. Hey? As much as Francisca competes with Edgeworth, she still can't stand to see someone picking on her little big brother. Down, Tigress. Tigress, whoa, spicy. Now then, I'll be looking forward to the results of your investigation. Okay, bye. So, we're back to square one. Actually, this is our last chance. I can tell that if we fail to solve this case, Detective Gumshoe will be formally charged under all of the circumstantial evidence. This investigation is not over yet. Not yet, Snake. There's still one location we have yet to inspect. Who is Snake? Sorry, I must be thinking about someone else. Brother!
It is where Detective Bad and Miss Yu were at the time of the crime. Lobby number 1. Time of the crime.
To be continued.
Oh. Now this is a little awkward. Because we're not at the 3-hour mark of the stream. But like, this would probably be a natural place to end it. Because this is basically not the end, but the last piece of the entire puzzle. Like, let me just check my quote-unquote memory of how much is left. I think the next part could definitely be... I'm gonna play a little bit more. Just to make sure that next time we can comfortably end out the stream, because there's gonna be a lot. Now that I look at my memory. I'm looking at a walkthrough. I have it open just in case, so I don't spend too much time stuck on anything, just in case. September 10th, 5:45 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 1. What is this incredibly overpowering sweet scent? Oh, it's Detective Bad's new cologne. Oh, Day Bad. Smells like cherries. It smells like flowers. Wait.
Uncle Bad, is this it?
Uncle Bad? Isn't that Detective Bad and Kay over there? It looks like she managed to escape the bailiff. Oh.
No, that's not quite it.
Too bad. But it's so pretty.
I think you're still a bit too young to be wearing that.
Wearing a flower? Just put it in her hair, it'll be adorable.
But since you found it, I guess I can let you keep it.
Thanks, I'll treasure it always.
Those two seem to be getting along rather well.
Oh, here. I got something else for you. But
Yay! Thank you, Uncle Bad.
Oh good, now I don't have to give up this Swiss roll.
Earlier, I ate one of these with gummy.
Gummy? Oh, you mean gumshoe?
Gummy is... He was trying to be nice to me because I was gonna get in trouble. And then he got in trouble because he lied to protect me.
That was perfume. Oh, it just looked like a flower. I thought it was like a flower vase. We don't have it in evidence, but I guess that has to be perfume.
Gummy! I know he didn't kill Daddy.
Don't cry. Faraday would be sad if he saw you crying. I'm gonna be sad if I see you crying.
I'm not crying.
Okay.
Oh, it's the mister from before, and the lady too.
Don't you think it would be a good idea to go home for the time being? You're not involved in the investigation, so it's for the best if you do.
Actually, I'm Uncle Bad's assistant.
Can we get a detective game starring Detective Bad and Kay's the assistant?
So I'm related to the investigation.
Is that so, Detective Bad?
Yeah, I guess.
What?
You were just scolding us like kids to not mess up the crime scene. And now you let this child run free? Why?
People are free to investigate things outside of the actual crime scene. You also had a few things you wanted to look into. Got a problem with that?
Yeah. Who's supervising her? What if she's gonna mess it up? I don't have a problem with that, but I am curious as to what Miss Yu is looking into.
Uncle Bad, I'm gonna go look somewhere else now, okay?
All right, I'm counting on you.
Oh, that's right. Hey, mister.
Huh? Yes, what is it?
I know Gummy really isn't the bad guy. I mean it. So, please, find the real bad guy, okay?
I won't forgive whoever did this. But in the absence of the perfect piece of testimony and evidence, there is no one else who could be the true culprit other than Detective Gumshoe. She wandered off while I was pondering. Don't make it a habit, Edgeworth. Who knows what you might miss while you're just thinking.
while you're just thinking in an anime style. Yellow Pikachu, please keep your voice down. I'm sorry, this is a no yelling stream. This is ASMR only. I will now be performing the rest of the stream in an ASMR voice. That expensive painting is ill-suited to be hanging on the wall of this room. I wonder if a guard detail should be placed on it. Why do you say that? Well, a desperate low-paid detective might make off with it someday. You never know. She may be thinking about hiring a guard, but it's obvious she isn't factoring in that guard's salary whatsoever. It's one of those things like, the less you pay someone, they might start to see, oh, it's more valuable to just steal whatever I'm guarding. Like, I heard about a case where, not a case, but like, there was an ancient king who, he ordered the assassination of 2 of his servants, but then like, he made it for the next day, so then the servants just ended up killing him in his sleep. Like, they were gonna die anyway, what more could happen? What more did they have to lose? Okay, no more ASMR, it's done. One of the windows in this lobby is open as well. The air conditioner is working just fine in this room, so why did they open it, I wonder? That's just a waste of air conditioner, dude. TV. Man, think of all the Wii tennis you could play on this thing. Just smash that Wii remote right into it. This television is the same model as the one in defendant lobby number 2. Looks like the 2 rooms are basically the same in terms of layout and supplies. So, are those evidence bags on the table here? Yes. The 2 rooms are basically the same, huh? Now it's time to play Spot the Difference, I guess. What an incredibly strong scented herbal tea! Oh, so it's not perfume, it's the tea. And that's the tea. I fear that more than being relaxing, the scent may make one a bit heady instead. Is that the word you want to use to describe that?
You put in a special request for that.
No, I didn't.
No, I mean Callisto, you.
No wonder she's so violent, if she's been drinking this stuff the whole time. Tea makes you violent? Neither woman should be allowed to comment on this particular topic, ever. So, if the tea makes you sleepy, maybe it's purposeful that it was put right here in defendant lobby number 1. Again, specifically requested by Callisto U. What? Just tapping Francisco on the forehead. It may not look like much, but I find that ordinary tables like this one are very useful. I think it's time they bought a new one. I wonder if they will replace this table if I hit it enough with my whip. Just have Gumshoe sit on it. I'm sure that's more effective at breaking it. A much too heavy-handed method if I ever saw one. Shadubadi plant. There's not much else to investigate in here. This decorative plant's leaves are shinier than the ones on the plant in lobby number 2. That's probably because it's next to the windows where it's easier to photosynthesize. Is it a real plant? You may be right. Plus, the curtains are always drawn in lobby number 2. The caretakers of this courthouse don't think enough about the plants, do they? That's because they're the courthouse's caretakers, not a bunch of botanists. I will say that the office, my work office, started giving away all the plants. Because nobody's coming into the office right now. It's like, oh, why bother maintaining them? Here, if you want them, come take them. Otherwise, we're just gonna throw them away. A little funny. I'm assuming that once the office opens back up, we'll buy new plants. I did not take any. I should never be in charge of any living thing. Be it plant or animal. Yellow Pikachu, what are you doing? Just pointing the finger? Just tapping me on the forehead? Tap, tap! Detective Bad, what exactly was Kay searching for?
Nothing that concerns you, boy.
Boy? Now I feel like we're playing God of War. Sweet. Oh? And I suppose it has something to do with Kay? I shouldn't be in charge of myself. Yeah, I'll just hire a caretaker for myself, because clearly I'm going senile.
It does, because she's Faraday's daughter. Anyway, hurry up and get to the point. I don't have time to waste.
Does Detective Bad even carry a gun? It sounds like he'd rather be left alone. I have something I'd like to confirm with you once again.
I don't have anything to say to you.
Oh, now he's tapping bad on the nose.
Man, Mr. Edgeworth, did anybody ever tell you that your hands are absolutely huge? Look, it's about the size of my entire head.
Oh yeah, he's got the big boy hands. Once again, there's a word I could use. I'm not gonna though. Look at how large Edward's fingers are. Compare like the size of just the tip of his pointer finger to Bad's nose, and it's still bigger. Wait a minute. Be that as it may, we still have questions that we need answers to. I know these sprites aren't to scale. Now then, first of all, what is the overpowering smell that is permeating this room? Meat. Upon entering this room, I thought I was going to suffocate.
It's that ultra-strong perfume you wears. She spilled some of it.
Oh, it is perfume. Never mind, it's not the tea.
I was having a bad time of it myself. I didn't think twice and opened the window, but that smell's still here.
Perfume, huh? Why does she wear such strong perfume? So, the sweet scent in the air is perfume. Callisto, you used sweet scent. It wasn't very effective. It's super effective. Well, it's giving off quite a stench. I bet it's some cheap no-name brand.
She said it's a famous brand from overseas.
It's a knockoff. Yes, definitely a knockoff.
No disrespect, but she forced one of those bottles on me. Here, little girl, you can have it.
Oh no, Francisca, don't start wearing that. Huh. I was born for a much more expensive and refined perfume. Does Francisca even wear perfume as an adult? Who's she trying to impress, huh? However, seeing as how you just happen to have a spare, I suppose I'll take it. Miles Edgeworth, you will hold on to this bottle without fail.
Uh-huh.
Why can't she ever be honest about her wants? She doesn't want to sound like a baby. So now we have the perfume Miss Yu wears. Just fantastic. Can I examine it? Do we get a 3D model of the perfume bottle? No, I can't. I would so love it though. Same perfume as the one spilled in lobby number 1. I wonder maybe Yu was trying to like cover up a scent. Maybe something did happen in courtroom number 1. She's covering up the smell. Maybe like a murder.
Is that all you wanted to talk about? If so, I'm going back to investigating.
Actually, I still have a few other things I wish to inquire about. Ooh. Like my badge.
Does showing that off make you feel like a big, strong prosecutor?
Oh, of course not. I was simply proving my title of prosecutor to you. It's the same dialogue every time, but I don't get the option to fast forward it. I think other Ace Attorney games usually remember when dialogue like that's repeated. I'm not sure. I just like how the trilogy re-release does it and lets you fast forward all the time. And also gives you a, not court record, but it would actually be more accurate if it was a court record. A text log. It's kind of these days, that's the standard for visual novels. Like, give the player a way to read it fast if they can read fast, so it doesn't waste their time. But in case they accidentally skip something, text log, just able to go back, you know? Just like a book. So you were in this room the entire recess.
Like I said, I made a call to the precinct to get that big log down here. But other than that, I was waiting for the recess to end in here.
In terms of sudariness, who do you think pulls it off better? Francisca or a certain teenager in Ace Attorney 6? Good point. Good question. If I'm thinking of the correct little princess, I mean, Francisca acts like a princess, but sometimes there's a literal princess who does it even more bratty. I'd say Francisca is more tsundere. And the other character you're thinking of is just straight up more of a little brat. I mean that in a respectful way, maybe? Kind of not really. I like the character. I'm just saying that that character has more of a reason to be childish. Francisca, even if she is, you know, like, what, 13 right now? She grew up in a household where, like, Manfred is the father. Like, there's no way he didn't, like, raise her to be mature from day one. No chance to actually live her childhood. So any, like, she either lets her childhood, lets her childishness manifest in how she decides to carry her quote-unquote professionalism, or she, like, just tries to hide under a barricade of pretending to be mature, period. So, yeah, exactly. I'm not good at analyzing people with words. I'm not good with language. I'm just gonna have to, like, eke out how I feel little by little, and I hope you understand what I'm getting at. That said, it is Manfred. Look, if you haven't played Ace Attorney 1, Manfred is a piece of doo-doo poo-poo caca. Like, he is a terrible person, probably a terrible father. He only cares about perfection in every asset of his life, including his family. So now we get to see the effects of that. Again, it's better, it's show, not tell. Hallmark of good writing. Von Karma is smelly, but you don't know anything about him. See? Even just talking about him, you get to know what he's like. Good writers. At least your story is consistent. Earlier, you stated that you were in this lobby with Miss Yu. You got that right, Wendy. I'm not gonna say that out loud, but you're absolutely right. He's a whole female dog.
Yeah, I ran into her in the hallway. She said she wanted to talk to me about something, so we came in here.
Then, what you're saying is, until Detective Gumshoe's arrival, you and Miss Yu were in 2 different locations?
Huh. Guess I am.
Interesting. Dun dun dun. Speaking of that lawyer, she seems to have a great dislike for you.
Oof.
Oof. Oof. Let's see. Miss Yu is the sister of the victim of the KG8 incident. And as I recall, Detective Bad was the lead detective on the case. I wonder if the reason for her disdain isn't simply because you failed to guard Cece. Disdain? Is disdain a word? Or does he mean disdain? Wait, I feel weird about that now. Is that... I'm sure that might be real. Disdain. Disdain is defined as to discolor, stain, or disgrace. It's a verb. Oh no, they use... Oh, there you go, another typo. But because you were on lead detective on the case.
You knew? Metal Gear. We've had a couple of run-ins in the past.
Huh. I also know that today's trial involving the Cadopian Embassy staff member is being referred to as the second KG8 incident. Again.
Edgeworth, I swear, if you touch me,
I'm not touching you.
if you so much as touch a hair on my nose,
I'm not touching you.
Judge, Edgeworth's touching me.
I'm not. Now then, detective, I believe it's time you were honest with me and told me the truth behind your relationship with Miss Yu and Mr. Faraday and the KG8 incident.
If you already know that much, I guess it'll be alright to tell you.
I literally know what's in this newspaper, dude. Nothing more. You played chapter 4, you're halfway through. Von Karma smells, you don't like them. Harris, I will say, if anybody's playing the first Ace Attorney, if you're doing it right now, or if you're still in the middle of it, and you're like, oh man, I'm so far from the end of the game, I'd say it's perfectly fine to finish chapter 4 and then skip straight to game number 2.
but still play episode 5 of Game 1 eventually, because episode 5 of Game 1, Rise from the Ashes, was added to the DS re-release of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. So it wasn't originally canon. It is canon, but the games were originally made such that you go like Game 1 up to Case 4, then Game 2, then Game 3. And then around that time was when Phoenix Wright 1 got re-released. So at the very least, play Rise from the Ashes because it is a fantastic case. It is super long though. It is super long. Be very mentally prepared to play it. Play it before playing Game 4 at the very least. Or before playing this game too, because a character from there is in here. We've already seen her. Anyway, we get information from Batman. Yeah, Chapter 4 is basically the end. Chapter 5, it's a ride and a half. Like, I think the people who were behind porting Ace Attorney 1 to the DS, they went above and beyond the Call of Duty. Like, they did not have any reason. Like, it was supposed to just be a bonus case, but I'd say it's basically 3 different entire mysteries in one. It's almost like an entirely new game. Like, the whole thing about the Ace Attorney games is, oh, a trial can only be 3 days because of the statute of limitations or whatever. Or maybe statute of limitations isn't the best legal word. But whatever it is, they make the most of every single day of the trial, and each day is about a completely different topic. So you're basically playing 3 different mysteries. Just 3 different segments, 3 whole things. Almost like the entire length of the rest of the game. Very good. It's very good. You should play it. You don't know how far you are from the end, but you met a parrot. Ah, well, you're close. You're close. Stackoos! Kamen Rider, what's up? Welcome on in. I was deciding when to end this, but probably a little bit more still. I love Snackoos. If only they were, available in real life. Now then, I'd like to ask you a few questions about the KG8 incident.
It's not exactly a happy story.
Which one? Are any of these cases a happy story? Oh yeah, once upon a time, we caught the killer. Instead of killing, it turns out he was actually just, overseeing the dead body, and the dead body was actually alive. Yeah, happiness. Nobody died. The end.
Other than the people who were directly involved. You too will be the first to hear what I'm about to tell.
Oh?
The honest truth behind the KG8 incident.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying statute of limitations isn't the right word. I forgot what they call it. I forget what they called it in game. There's just a 3-day limit.
Faraday, you and I. As you already know, we 3 were involved with the KG8 incident. Faraday and I, we were originally on the trail of a smuggling ring.
You mean the smuggling case involving one of the Amano Group's secretaries?
Huh. That trial was just a front.
A facade?
Yeah. But the case became tainted. All because the witness who was going to testify about the Amano Group's ties to the smuggling ring, CCU, was killed.
Then, what became of the secretary who was arrested? His name?
His name was Colin Devoret. To be honest, the guy didn't know a thing about the smuggling ring.
But he was just a scapegoat.
But he confessed to knowing about it anyway. Devoret was probably being intimidated by the big boss man. Big boss. Just another scapegoat.
The boss man of the Amano Group? He can't seriously mean Mr. Ernest Amano. That can't be right. It's probably just Detective Bad's personal hypothesis. Oh, Edward still does not know betrayal at this point in his life. Or rather, he knows it. He just he's not aware of it. What is he trying to do, suspecting Mr. Amano of being involved with his smuggling? It can't be Mr. Amano. He paid for my trip to Germany. What a nice man. I suppose it would have been quite difficult to secure an acquittal after he confessed. But the man who killed CCU, Manny Cochin, was a completely different person. But not guilty. But since he's already been acquitted once of the murder... Mr. Faraday,
How could you have let him go? If I remember correctly, I heard that Mr. Faraday had an important piece of evidence stolen from him.
That wasn't Faraday's fault. It was mine. I wasn't vigilant enough. Faraday, Cece, I was supposed to protect them both.
Miss Yu did mention that as well. About how Detective Bad was supposed to guard her sister.
But even I, who was supposed to protect them, I fell into their trap.
What kind of a trap?
The holes in this jacket are a testament to that trap.
You mean you were fired upon? Ooh. You were shot at so many times in one gunfight. And apparently either all of those bullets barely missed his body, or they went through him, but then one of them is behind his head. He didn't get shot in the head. Still. I guess he just wears the same jacket to this day.
No, only about half of these are from the case. But the reason I continue to wear this jacket is to remind myself of the lessons I learned from the KG8 incident.
You assume snackoos are Cheetos, but chocolate instead of cheese. I'm sure I've seen that in some market somewhere. Like, there's nothing inherently cheesy about Cheetos. It just feels a little bit weird that you associate them with cheese, but basically, think of them as maybe long Cocoa Puffs. Long Cocoa Puffs. Like somebody made a brush tool in Photoshop out of a single Cocoa Puff and just... I see. Yes, chocolate long Cocoa Puffs.
I couldn't protect CCU, and the suspect was found not guilty. We had hit a brick wall, as far as the law was concerned. And that's when she came to the courtroom, the victim's sister. That's when I first met Callisto Yu.
Relation to you. About when you first met Miss Yu. It was on the day of the verdict the KG8 incident was handed down, was it not?
Yes, Faraday and I. We apologized to her from the bottom of our hearts. It was all we could do. But just saying you're sorry won't bring my sister back, she said. And then she gave me a hard slap across the face.
Ooh. I'm just thinking of the moon guy from Great Ace Attorney with the slap permanently imprinted on the side of his cheek. Yeah, just Detective Bad he just flip around to facing the right side. We'll see the handprint right there. Well, she certainly had a lot of self-control to stop at just a slap. If it was me, not even 100 lashes would have been punishment enough. Either talking about theoretically avenging Edgeworth if he died, or I guess Francisca's sister that apparently exists. Remember, that's a thing. That's canon.
I suppose not.
Either canon or they forgot.
You said it herself. That she never wanted to see either of us ever again.
But after that, you've seen her many times over, correct?
Yeah, Faraday and I, even after the KG8 incident had come to a close, we continued to hunt down a smuggling ring and got involved in a variety of cases. But it was no use. We cracked so many different cases. But the result was always the same. We couldn't find the real mastermind behind the ring.
It's in too deep, dude. The Yakuza was covering. Is the ring really that big?
It was in the pursuit of the ring that we met you once again. It was during another trial related to the smuggling ring. Faraday was the prosecutor, and I, as the lead detective, took to the witness stand. She appeared out of the blue as the defense attorney.
Shouldn't you not be allowed to take on a case if you're involved with any of the people? Like, you're not allowed to be in a jury if you know the defendant. Like, shouldn't the lawyers also, be held to the same standard?
Her client was related to the smuggling ring, and she was defending them? Oh wait, they're talking about a later case.
Yeah. You was pursuing the ring as best she could as a lawyer. I think she defended Rel this time for the same reason.
Oh, they're talking about today's case. Come to think of it, Miss Yu did say something to the same effect. If there's a conflict of interest, you are barred from the case. So many things in the Ace Attorney world that are conveniently just not as reality for the sake of drama.
I have my own agenda. I'm still on the hunt for leads regarding the KG incident, alright?
And for that, you have not a single qualm about defending a known killer? Don't put words in my mouth. I said no such thing. The only way I had to get close to Miss Rel was to be his lawyer. I had no intention of covering for him, ever. At the very end, yeah, we plead guilty. So don't you dare suggest I was going to. Ace Attorney completely disregarding conflict of interest? Really? Wow. Honestly, the fact that every witness is like, oh, they end up being the killer, it would not even be possible if conflict of interest wasn't a thing. Or if it was a thing in this world, rather.
It doesn't matter what her reason is. Helping a criminal is just
Despicable. You're so naive, little girl.
Ah! I was wondering when the reveal was gonna be. Yeah, no, he's been using a lollipop this whole time. That's not a cigarette.
I could have stolen this lollipop from you. That's how naive you are.
How dare you insult the daughter of a Von Gamma?
Just like us, you felt that she had hit the limit of what the law could do. That's all.
The law is merely a tool. There is no limit to it, only the skill of the craftsman.
You two are still too young. But one day, you'll know what I mean.
It is such a shame that we never see Detective Bad in, like, the present day, or even, like, the future time skip trilogy of Ace Attorney. Like, he's such a good character. He's a good detective. He has some regrets, but he means well.
You two are still too young, but one day, you'll know what I mean. But enough sidetracking. What matters is that we met you again in pursuit of the smuggling ring. That's all.
That was a long explanation. One more, and I think after this we'll call it. It'll be a good stopping point after we get all the information we need. So, what was your relation to Mr. Faraday? You even seem to know Kay very well.
I met him when he was a rookie prosecutor. Known him ever since. And Kay, I've known her since the day she was born.
Did you know the mother?
Faraday and I, we cracked quite a few cases together.
But you two seem to have made no progress at all in the Tagarasu case. Suspicious. Bad be kinda sus, though. Did Vic touch a nerve?
I only have one thing to say to you. No one knew more about the Yatagarasu than me and Faraday.
Oh, totally called it. It burns the Yatagarasu, and Detective Bad is his detective. He's helping him cover up the Yatagarasu's tracks. It's the perfect crime. You can't be prosecuted if you are the prosecutor.
That's why I was called upon to testify in today's trial, to prove that Rel was not the real Yatagarasu. Which I would have done if he hadn't turned around and accused Faraday. After the accusation, I was asked to testify, but this time, to prove or disprove the accusation. But I guess I won't be doing that either.
I sense that there's more to that statement than meets the eye. Perhaps a bit more digging into the Tagarasu is what's necessary. Oh, come on! You don't claim to know much about the Yatagarasu. Would you care to share what you know with me?
What you should be looking for right now is proof of murderous intent towards Faraday and Rel.
I agree, which is exactly why I'm asking you about the Yatagarasu.
What?
I'm sorry, the Yatagaras.
Thank you. Pronounce it right. The KG-8 incident and this second KG-8 incident.
Both of these cases are tied. That was Edgeworth, never mind. The KG-8 incident and this second one. Both of these cases are tied to the smuggling ring. And in both of these cases, the witness who was to testify about the ring was murdered. However, there is one point in which they differ, and that is the present or absence of the great thief, Yatagarasu. Mr. Rel claimed to be the Yatagarasu. However, in the middle of the trial, he suddenly declared Mr. Faraday to be the real Yatagarasu. Then, during the recess, they were both killed. Don't you find that to be the least bit odd? Miles Edgeworth, stop beating around the bush and just spit it out already. I believe there must be some reason that the two men suspected of being the Yatagarasu were both killed at the same time.
A reason?
And so, in order to catch Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel's cold-blooded killer, I feel that I need to learn as much as I can about the Yatagarasu.
If it will help you solve this case, then I will tell you. I'll tell you the reason why we've never caught the Yatagarasu.
Oh? What was that sudden outburst for? You almost made me whip you by accident. Accident? Now I will do it on purpose. No! It still accidentally whipped me anyway.
There are three main reasons why the Yatagarasu will always be one step ahead. First, the Yatagarasu always knows the exact location of the target object.
He scouts out the treasure before he tends the calling card.
Second, the Yatagarasu always knows exactly how to disarm the security system.
By sending the calling card. Makes the target aware of their treasure.
The Yatagarasu doesn't leave a single shred of evidence behind. Ever.
Maybe rather meaning that people in the know are covering it up. I see. So those are the Yatagarasu's special traits. Sounds like an incredibly elusive thief.
The Yatagarasu has never been caught on tape, never tries to draw anyone's attention, and would never do something as lowbrow as commit murder.
You seem to be personally involved.
That's how I knew that Rel wasn't the real Yatagarasu right away.
But you can't use that sort of logic on his own to prove that he wasn't. At the very least, it won't stand up in court. You like the music. Capcom just knows how to set the tone. Like, there's still an air of mystery to us, but also the same sense of intent from Bad, who's giving the explanation. Like, this music conveys that perfectly.
Listen, little girl. I'm not done talking yet. What's different about this time was that evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police. And the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Kodopian embassy. The Yatagarasu.
The Yatagarasu sent the evidence?
Until now, the Yatagarasu would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media. But not this time. The evidence this time was something only Faraday and I, and a select few others knew about.
In that case, how can you be so sure it was the Yatagarasu who sent it?
That's easy. A special card that only the Yatagarasu uses was attached.
Maybe somebody can forge it. Nah.
That's how I can be so sure.
And just what sort of card is it?
Here, take a look at this article. Whenever the Yatagarasu wants to publicize something, a white card is sent along with the stolen information. But when we questioned Rel about what was sent along with the white card, Rel had no idea what it was.
Ah! So that'll stand up in court. Oh, Oh, a lack of information. Hey. Ah. And that's how Detective Bad knew that Mr. Rel was a phony. Thank you very much. I have a much better understanding of the Yatagarasu now. You wish you knew. You wish you knew more.
Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth.
Yes?
His Honor would like to transfer the evidence from today's trial over to you. So if you could please head over to the courtroom, it'd be much appreciated, sir.
Understood. I'll be there shortly. Francisca, why are you reading your whip? I know you were thinking about making a short joke. I didn't though. Oh! That's from thinking about making a joke. Ugh, can't a man even think in peace? Detective Bad, what does the law mean to you?
Finding the answer to that question is the only reason I'm still alive.
Whoo! I became a prosecutor to find the answer to that question myself. And to play a part in ensuring that all criminals everywhere are found guilty. Oh, nope. Perfect place. Oh, Edgeworth hinting at the fact that he wanted to become a defense lawyer. Just questioning himself, his wants, his goals, becoming a prosecutor to just trying to find the answer himself. Oh, Edgy, you have gone through so much pain, and I would so much love to resolve it. At the very least, I can't really resolve it. It'll take a couple of years and a certain spunky defense lawyer to really, help him find who he is. For now, though, we're taking a break for a day, maybe a day or two. We'll be back with more Ace Attorney investigations on Thursday. So, be there. Tomorrow, Crystal Chronicles Day. Yeah. Thank you guys for joining. Let's see if there's any art. I don't think there's any stream art today, but if you ever have any to show, if you ever have any art to show the stream, inspired by the games I play, or this funky music, or the chickeny nature of the stream, post it to the art section of the Discord or tweet it to me. And yeah, here's my links. Consider if you like the stream, give me a follow on Twitch, or subscribe to the YouTube channel, or just come and say hi. It really means a lot that you guys enjoy, and I'd like to hear it. I'd like to hear it someday. If you just watch on the YouTube video, if I never even get the chance to meet you, I still hope you enjoy the streams regardless. Yeah. If you guys need to go to sleep, now's the time. I will let you remember the 21st night of September, because it is now the 22nd night. Ha! I did it again! Haha, you can't stop me. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you're going to sleep, have a good night, and stay clucky.